giveaway September 8th to 10th. Plus, check out a great slate of marquee interleague matchups against the Padres, Cardinals, and Dodgers.
Julio clubs this deep out to left field and gone! Julio for the second time!
Mariners baseball. Tridents up.
Many retirees are enjoying the summer weather, but not enjoying the high cost of living. We're here with our friend Steve Teitler of Best Mortgage, who says a reverse mortgage may provide some stress relief.
If you're struggling with your mortgage payments or other bills, or maybe you just like some extra money, a reverse mortgage allows you to tap your home equity for tax-free cash. You've worked hard to build up that equity in your home. Now let it work for you. And best of all, you'll have no mortgage payments the rest of your life.
But as you always say, a reverse mortgage is not for everyone.
That's right. Avoid the high-pressure sales pitch from those out-of-state call centers. I give you a consultation, not a sales pitch. I'll tell you if a reverse mortgage is right for you, and I always tell you if it's not.
Honest advice you can trust from the reverse mortgage experts. Best Mortgage, the VA loan experts and debt consolidation specialists too. 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage, 425-649-6000.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Steve Kathan. Cautious optimism from Secretary of State Rubio ahead of tomorrow's Trump-Putin summit.
We're hopeful. We want there to be a peace. We're going to do everything we can to achieve one. But ultimately, it'll be up to Ukraine and Russia to agree to one.
CBS's Nancy Cordes says Trump wants Putin to end the war in Ukraine.
You will see a meeting where it's just President Trump, President Putin, and their interpreters, and no one else. Then the meeting will open up, and their advisors will be involved, more typical for these types of situations. And then there's going to be a joint press conference, Trump and Putin, after the meeting wraps up.
In the Middle East, Jerusalem reporter Linda Gradstein says peace in Gaza seems far off as Israel takes some new steps.
For more than 2 decades, Israel has postponed construction on an open area of land east of Jerusalem called E1. But amid plans by several European countries to recognize a Palestinian state in the West Bank, Gaza Strip, and East Jerusalem, Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich today announced plans to build 3,000 homes in E1, saying it will bury the idea of a Palestinian state.
Well, CBS's David Schechter has details today of a new climate report.
The American Meteorological Society's new climate report shows 2024 shattered records. Greenhouse gas levels, global temperatures, sea levels, and ocean heat all hit all-time highs. Glaciers saw their worst ice loss ever, and the ocean endured a record 100 marine heat wave days.
Florida is preparing to open a second immigration detention facility at a state prison in North Florida as a federal judge decides the fate of the state's holding center for immigrants in the Everglades known as Alligator Alcatraz. CBS's Michael Wallace tells us it looks like a meteorite may have hit a house in Massachusetts.
Jim Dolan says he and his wife were in their Gloucester townhouse at the time.
We just heard this bam, this pow, and I jumped up and I said, what the heck was that?
They found some strange rocks that smelled of sulfur on their deck and some damage to the corner of their house. Boston College geophysicist John Ebel believes it was a meteorite.
Every day there are meteorites coming into the atmosphere.
But he says the odds of one hitting your house are like winning the lottery.
Air Canada's begun canceling some flights and has plans to lock out flight attendants who threatened to go on strike Saturday. Mark Nasser is an airline vice president.
We recognize this is a difficult situation, and we deeply regret the impact that CUPE strike is having on our customers.
The main issue is money. The union rejected a 38% pay increase over 4 years. Wall Street, right now the Dow Jones Industrial Average is down about 160. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
A crash and radioactive material? The story coming up. But first, KIRO Newsradio traffic. Eastbound 16 has reopened after an earlier crash, but you are still slow from West Tacoma over the Narrows Bridge. In Bothell, a disabled vehicle has been moved to the shoulder on I-405 southbound, but you're jammed up all the way through Canyon Park. You have 2 lanes closed for construction northbound on I-5 near the Ship Canal Bridge. Express lanes are open northbound, putting pressure on your southbound drive. Travel time Linwood to Seattle nearly an hour, 17 minutes longer than usual. Alderwood to South Center on I-405 is an hour and a half, 20 minutes longer. Traffic brought to you by Seattle Sports. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial on 97.3 HD2.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. Eastbound State Route 16 near the Tacoma Narrows Bridge has finally reopened after a crash involving radioactive material prompted first responders to close it for hours overnight. Trooper John DeTillo says a suspected drunk driver plowed into a construction zone.
One of the pieces of equipment that was struck in this crash contains radioactive material. There is no danger to the public right now.
But to be on the safe side, they closed the freeway down until crews could decontaminate the area. The man accused in a deadly Skyway hit and run enters a plea in court. KIRO 7 TV's Runji Sinha was there when 74-year-old David Hayes faced a judge.
King County Sheriff's deputies say Hayes was driving July 24th when he hit several vehicles. One of those vehicles plowed into Garcia Perez, killing her. Hayes appeared in court and pleaded not guilty to charges of vehicular homicide, hit and run, reckless driving, and driving without a license. The son of Susana Garcia Perez addressed a King County judge.
I think he should face the consequences for the decision he made.
Hayes was not taken into custody until July 25th when someone spotted his damaged RV.
The judge set Hayes bail at $250,000. A fast-moving brush fire caused temporary evacuations in the Thurston County town of Rainier. The flames made it up to this man's property yesterday.
I looked out like there was fire all over, and I was like, oh my God. And so I was like, okay, time to grab the dogs and to call my family. It's like, we got to get out of here.
KIRO 7 TV reports the fire was contained to just a couple dozen acres, and those evacuations were eventually canceled. A bat found in a child's room in Skagit County has tested positive for rabies.
It's the first rabid bat in Skagit County this year and the 4th statewide. Health officials remind you not to touch or handle wild animals, especially bats. Don't feed wild animals or keep them as pets either. Also, bat-proof your home by sealing up cracks and holes. Bats can squeeze into spaces as small as half an inch. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
The Mariners were down by 2 runs against the Orioles in Baltimore last night when the M's managed to do this.
This ball game is tied. A sacrifice fly by Dom Canzone.
It was short-lived. Baltimore won it 4-3, but the Mariners have also won a game, and they're looking to clinch the 3-game series with a win today. This weather update brought to you by Stade Roofing and Exteriors. Clouds today with highs in the low 70s. It's 62 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
What's up, everybody? It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Thursday, August 14th. Ursula, come on now. Why is it midway through August?
I know. This summer has flown on by.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to say goodbye. Although,
what's up?
I know you're going to say that this rain today is welcome. And for a number of reasons, I'm going to agree with you.
Ursula,
we need a little bit of rain.
Here's the thing, though. I don't know why you walk around faking the funk. You agree with me a lot of the times. It's not the popular opinion to agree with me sometimes. Because as a matter of fact, there's people that's in their cars right now. They're like, secretly, I do agree with Chief. I can't let it be known.
It's so fun to say, I disagree with you. Hey, in our state right now, there are around 300,000 undocumented immigrants living here. Many of them, as you can imagine, are fearful of being rounded up by ICE. Now, coming up in the 10 o'clock hour, you are going to hear from one of them. He's actually one of our listeners. He's been here since he was 8 years old. We learned today he has a wife, 2 children, and a baby on the way.
We're not criminals. I don't have a criminal record at all. You know, I wish they would give us a chance to really take that first step. Because right now there is really no first step that we can take.
Now you're going to hear that exclusive interview coming up at 10:06. I'm going to share. I learned a lot from him. And I know that you did as well. So we look forward to sharing that interview with you coming up at 10:06. As always, we invite you to join us on the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO.
All right, Ursula, let's get to your top stories of the day, brought to you by Bat Fitter Northwest.
ICE arrests in Washington dropped last month, but they are still running high compared to the past year. According to brand new data from the University of California's Deportation Data Project, arrests in our state fell 25% between June and late July, from a spike in June to 218 arrests last month. Now, that is still the second highest monthly total since September of last year. Nationally, the trend is looking the same. Fewer arrests than in June, but still high. So you might be asking, well, what has changed? The numbers suggest that ICE targeted fewer people without criminal records in July. But those undocumented immigrants still made up a large share of arrests here in Washington, 42% compared with 38% who had prior convictions and 20% with pending charges. So I guess my question to you is, what do you think is happening? Do you think this is just a momentary pause? Do you think that this is a change of heart? What do you think is happening?
Well, there's only so many Home Depots and Mexican stores that they can go to. You ain't seen ICE pull up to Microsoft. You haven't seen them pull up to Amazon. You haven't seen any type of raids go on at those locations to see if there are anyone that is undocumented there, to see if there's anybody that has outstayed their work visas. So what has happened is there's only so many places that, because like I said, this has been a attack on brown folks. I've consistently said that. We all know that. And there are folks just being like, oh, okay, I'm going to stay away from the popular, low-hanging fruit places that ICE is going to hang out. So I'm going to stay away from those places. So, it's going to be down. They don't have any, like great law enforcement tactics or anything like that. They just got the bullying tactics of putting on a damn mask and going to places where brown people are going to be. Now, they've already been in those places. Now, where else are they going to go?
Well, I'm wondering also if, again, in the state of Washington, but this is also a trend that we're seeing nationwide. So a couple of things. Public opinion, and I'm wondering if that is playing a role in all of this, because there was so much negative publicity surrounding the tactics that were being used. And then there was this June Gallup poll that found that nearly 80% of Americans believe that immigration is actually good for the country, and most were disapproving of Trump's way of handling this situation. So, I'm wondering if, we're not going to put all the focus on that now, and there's focus on other things like what's going on in Washington, D.C. And then the other thing that I'm seeing is that the Tacoma Detention Center is actually near capacity. So ICE might simply just have fewer beds available.
No, the thing is, Ursula, is ICE and all of them, they pick and choose who they want to go round up. You see what I'm saying? Like, nobody pulled up to Mar-a-Lago back in the day. Nobody's going to hotels. Nobody's going to these places. Nobody's going to stay at farms or anything like that. They pick and choose when they want to do this. And it's the dumbest thing in the world. It's already dumb in the first place. It's nothing but a look over here. And, they did say that they would do mass deportation. Unfortunately, they said that, and they're living up to that promise. But they're running out of places to go to because there are areas in which they will not go to.
I see what you're saying. So one of the things that comes up, and it actually came up in our interview with Jesus, who you're going to hear from coming up in the 10 o'clock hour, an undocumented immigrant who actually listens to the show.
Yeah.
And you hear about immigration reform, and I think a lot of people don't even, we need immigration reform. Well, what does that even mean? Like, what do we need to see? And one of the first things, and I think in the interview, one of the clearest things to me was we need to offer a clear path to legal status for undocumented immigrants who meet the requirements, like those who have lived here for a long time, who have a clean record, who have been paying taxes. Mm-hmm. You and I learned that when you just say, why are you still undocumented? Why haven't you just gotten the paperwork done? It's not as easy. This is what we learned today. We were reminded of that today.
I got educated on that.
And then the whole DACA thing. I didn't realize this, but it's only a temporary solution. Like right now, DACA, so it's for the dreamers, the young people who came here, and it was passed under Obama, and it's the young people who move here. For example, if you're moved here when you're an 8-year-old child, there should be this pathway. Well, DACA is actually only temporary protection for undocumented immigrants who were brought here to the U.S. as children. So they have to apply for that protection from deportation every 2 years. So Congress has not been able to pass a permanent solution to that.
Before we move on, I think that myself and those listening, I think we forget. And I'm going to turn this on you. We forget that you did not become a U.S. citizen until 1993. So I want to ask you, because you know what? Of everybody that's on this show, only you have experience of what it is like and what it was like to not be a U.S. citizen here in this country at one point and then become a citizen. So I'll ask you, Ursula, deep down, when you see all of this stuff happening, you see people that are on green cards, getting green cards revoked because of a speeding ticket, and you see what do you think about all this?
Well, first of all, I am so glad that I became an American citizen. I am a proud U.S. citizen. And for me, the biggest reason I did it was because I couldn't stand not having the ability to vote. I also never committed a crime, so I never had to worry about deportation. But I would be much more worried today versus how I was, growing up. My father always trumpeted the fact that, hey, you have every right as a U.S. citizen that a U.S. citizen does, with the exception of voting. Mm-hmm. But now I'm coming to realize, no, you actually don't. And if you're a U.S. citizen and you commit a crime, you serve your time, you're done. But if you have a green card, you're not. That's no guarantee, that you get a chance to stay. Yeah. So, but, when it comes to immigration reform, I mean, we desperately need it. And you're talking about 300,000 just in the state of Washington. And again, vast majority of them have never committed a crime.
And at 10 o'clock today, you guys are going to hear from someone who fits that mold.
Yes. And I'm all about also securing the border in a much better way. I think it has been too loosey-goosey, and I think that was a crisis for sure. But again, we never talk about what really needs to happen to allow people who have been here, okay, you can say illegally, right, but have been doing the right thing and just want that pathway to citizenship.
You want to know what's interesting before you move on, Ursula? We've been talking a lot about ICE and immigrants and undocumented immigrants and all this mass deportation, especially over the last 200 days, a lot about it. Do you know we haven't gotten, usually we get emails, we get off-the-record comments and text messages. You know we haven't had not one message come from someone telling us about how they are in danger because of someone undocumented.
No.
Considering.
But we have heard from people who hire undocumented workers who say they are great workers and couldn't do their business without their help.
We get that. But what I'm saying is it's interesting because there's this narrative that the undocumented immigrants in this country are the ones that are causing the crime. But that's not factual, right? That's not factual that the majority of them are that way. But that is the picture that's being painted. So I just wanted to point that out, how dangerous that narrative is.
Now, if you have stepped outside, you've probably noticed the haze. You might actually be smelling smoke before the week's out. So there's the Bear Gulch fire on the Olympic Peninsula that has burned more than 8,200 acres. It's nowhere close to being contained. Winds, they're saying, could push smoke toward King County, bringing hazy skies. Those beautiful sunsets, but, that's unfortunately linked to smoke, and potentially unhealthy air at night for Kitsap and Pierce counties as well. And in Mason County, they're under an air quality alert through Friday. Also in Thurston County, I mean, it seems to be like all over the place. There was a fast-moving wildfire forcing go-now evacuations yesterday. That fire burned 26 acres. Most evacuation orders, thankfully, were lifted within hours. That fire is 90% contained. But I guess I want to just ask.
Don't get me in trouble.
All of you. I mean, cooler weather, possible weekend showers should help. But the fire season, as you know, is far from over. Is this just going to be the norm? Like every summer, this is how we end our summer? And do we need to be doing more in terms of prevention?
Is this a segue into climate change?
No.
Okay.
We already had our climate change segment for the month.
Okay, Ursula. So are you trying to give me a test on what we can do to prevent this? Like right now.
Is this something you just expect every year?
Yes. Yes, I expect around August, around your house, around my house, you got brown grass. Everything around you is dry. I mean, your whole neighborhood is just thirsty. Thirsty around the neighborhood is dry. It's got the white stuff. Sometimes some people get so dehydrated, they get white stuff on the crack of their mouth. So it's dry, and we expect coming up soon, Heather Bosch will join in and say, hey, there's some type of fires. And that's not funny because it's actually pretty scary the last 10 years that this is what we have come to. And I don't know what to do to prevent it unless you're going to give me that lesson.
Well, I'm going to leave that for the experts. We're going to bring someone like Ted Biener in to talk
because
about
the last time we talked climate change this week, you got me in trouble.
I did. People were so upset with you. So we're not going to do that. But I'd love to hear from all of you. Text line 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. Is this just what we need to expect? Okay, let's move on. Seattle-based cybersecurity giant F5 is now cutting more than 100 jobs between its Seattle headquarters and its office near Spokane. The company says it's reorganizing. They're going to be moving some people into new positions that they think are more important for growth. They're going to be letting others go. They didn't say how many cuts were in each location, but F5 has about 1,100 employees in the Seattle area. And this is actually not the first time in 2023 they cut more than 600 jobs. But here's the kicker.
What's that? What's the kicker?
These layoffs come less than a week after F5 reported nearly $800 million in revenue and $190 million in profit. In fact, it was their most profitable quarter in a decade. And as you know, they're not alone in cutting. Some big giants like Microsoft, Amazon, T-Mobile, they're all making cuts this year. They're blaming rising costs and what they call shifting priorities, especially around AI. So I want to get people a little torqued about this question. When a company is posting record profits, is there ever a good reason to cut jobs, or is this pure greed? Why are you laughing?
Because no matter what I say,
you're going to get people upset.
Yeah.
Don't look at the text line.
No. I'm just saying, Ursula, there's literally nothing I can say right now. We constantly, in your news stories, you're constantly bringing up how big companies are having record layoffs and record profits at the same time. And then when I say things like, hey, maybe some of the problems and some of the potential downfall to America is when you have the CEOs in these big companies, these top folks of the company making 1,200% more than their employees. We wonder why we have a wage problem. We wonder why the federal minimum wage is still $7.25. We wonder why in the city of Seattle, minimum wage is $20 and I think 26 cents, and you need to work 85 hours a week in order to afford a one-bedroom apartment? I don't know. There's a homelessness crisis.
I think you just rolled in all our news stories into one answer.
It literally all ties together.
We got a lot of small business owners, restaurant folks listening, by the way. 24% profit margin. What do you think about that? Because I've been in restaurants and it was like 2 to 3. I know a lot of y'all out there are struggling. Would you be cutting staff with 24% profits and record margins?
So yeah, I want to hear from you. I mean, so obviously it's to keep the shareholders happy.
How come they're not doing anything about the homelessness crisis?
Okay, yeah. Do you want me to answer that?
Because there's a hole in the boat. There's a literal hole in the boat when you have a company having a 24% profit margin and you're laying folks off.
That's not y'all don't see the red flags in this? Imagine looking at your company. Go to your company right now and ask them what the profit margin is.
I mean, do you shrug your shoulders and say, well, that's what it is in a capitalist society?
No, I don't shrug my shoulders because you and I go at this dang thing every day. And people be mad at me every day. Well, gee, you always have it against the billionaires. So then who should I be mad at right now then? If F5 is laying off all those people, having record profits, then what do y'all want me to say? You want me to blame the workers that got laid off?
No. So I guess in your case, you're saying this is pure greed. I'm just trying to wrap it in a bow because we're out of time.
Hey, man, look, I got a greed problem when it comes to food, so I'm trying to get better about that. So some people got a greed problem when it comes to money. Hey, at 9:47, Ursula, we have Would You Rather. And, Ursula, there's some doozies on there, and I guarantee you.
I know you were chuckling all morning, so yeah. I'm worried.
You're going to try
at 9:47.
Because you're going to try to play both sides. That's why I was chuckling. Coming up next, Chris Sullivan is going to come in. You guys need to look. I know Sully be talking about traffic, but I don't want y'all to be mad this upcoming weekend because Sully has some stuff to tell you. Do that next. Gee and Ursula.
The Jake and Spike Show.
Fine week we got going here.
We got a great week.
Fine week.
Weekdays noon to 3.
Summer.
It is summer. It's very, very hot. I'm not made for the hot heat. I can't stand it. I can't do anything outside because I just start sweating.
I'm canceling an ice delivery pending this updated weather forecast.
My neighborhood ice delivery guy?
Yeah, the guy with big tongs carries it up 3 flights of stairs.
The horse?
You know the guy. I got an ice guy.
You got an ice guy.
Watch the Jake and Spike Show live on YouTube or the KIRO Newsradio app.
10X is better than 2X. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, that's what Urbanize is all about. You see them everywhere. They're here, they're there, times 10. Is G. Scott here to tell you about my favorite optical place here in the entire state. They're over in the heart of Kirkland Urban, right across from QFC. That's Urbanize. And right now, from 5 years old to 105 or more, everyone's vision matters, even Ursula's. Whether it's your child's first eye exam, a back-to-school checkup, or an annual visit for mom and dad, grandma, grandpa, we're here for your whole family. You can even book an exam for everyone on the same day. One-stop shop for all ages. Book your family's appointment today. Go over and see Dr. Dana and her incredible team. Experts in everything that they do, and they're ready for you. Schedule an appointment today at myurbanize.com.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
Seems like back to school happens earlier each year.
First day of school coming in hot.
And this year, my kids had massive supply lists.
Folders, notebooks, and pens. Oh, the humanity.
But Staples had everything I needed, with some items just 25 cents.
Watch the small print.
No. My back to school budget was saved by Staples Easy Button.
Everything for school, in stock and as low as 25 cents. Staples.
That was easy.
In-store, online, and on the app. In 23 while supplies last.
This fall, Seattle Symphony music director Shen Zhang begins her debut season at Benaroya Hall. On September 13th, Shen conducts Grieg Piano Concerto with pianist Simone Terpcheski for the symphony's opening night. On September 18th and 20th, Shen conducts the majestic Pictures at an Exhibition. On October 2nd, 4th, and 5th, Shen conducts Rachmaninoff's dramatic Second Symphony and Rhapsody on a Theme of Paganini. Ticket info at seattlesymphony.org.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. OpenPhone gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. OpenPhone lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you and your team can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to Need to take calls on the go? OpenPhone automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With OpenPhone's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions, and use those insights to coach your team and level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with OpenPhone. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try OpenPhone for free at openphone.com/free and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/free. openphone.com/FREE.
Every jersey tells a story.
So many people dressed in Seahawks blue.
From unforgettable touchdowns.
Touchdown, Seahawks! Jackson Smith-Njigba, Johnny on the spot.
To game-changing hits.
He gets hitting it. Leonard Williams drags him down.
To memorable catches.
Jordan dropping back to pass in the end zone to Largent. Touchdown Seahawks!
History lives in every thread. Shop official Seahawks jerseys in-store at Lumen Field, The Landing in Renton, or online at Seahawks.com/ProShop.
Nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all. Sound like your home? Then call for your free inspection.
InsulationNorthwest.com. Eric Butler here, General Manager at Kia of Everett. Thinking about going electric? Now is the time. The clock is ticking on thousands in federal and state EV tax credits that end September 30th. Add that to what you'll already be saving at Kia of Everett on our huge selection of award-winning, dependable Kia EVs, from the stylish Niro to the powerful EV9. Take advantage of this opportunity. Stop by today or visit KiaofEverett.com.
The best drive you'll ever take is to Kia of Everett. Simple, easy, fun.
An official message from Medicare.
I turned 65 this year. I knew it was time to figure out Medicare, and I had questions, like when to enroll and how to enroll. So I went straight to the official source, Medicare.gov, to get the facts about Medicare. I found answers to all my questions, and I'm ready to get started. And so can you. Just go to Medicare.gov to get the real facts about Medicare.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. A robbery suspect who escaped custody at SeaTac Airport has been caught. The latest from KIRO 7 TV's Gary Horker.
People around the SeaTac area no longer need to be on the lookout for John Nino. Police say he made it all the way to Tacoma before he was caught. Just after 4 o'clock, 20 minutes prior, someone spotted the guy as a passenger in a car in King County. Now, Nino had been under arrest for robbery charges. He will likely face more for the escape attempt. It's unclear right now if the driver will be charged as an accomplice to escape.
If you're flying Air Canada anytime soon, listen up.
We have begun this morning a gradual suspension of Air Canada and Air Canada Rouge operations. All flights will be paused by Saturday early morning.
Air Canada Vice President Mark Nasser says they're canceling flights ahead of a strike by flight attendants. Preparations are underway in Alaska, where President Trump is set to meet with Russia's Vladimir Putin to talk about Russia's war in Ukraine tomorrow. Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
I think the president's hope is to achieve some stoppage of fighting.
Ukraine's president is not optimistic, saying Putin is merely stalling. Israel's finance minister has approved a new settlement in the Israeli-occupied West Bank and is calling for the area to be annexed. Linda Gradstein reports.
Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich announced he plans to build 3,000 homes in a controversial area of the West Bank that many say would make a Palestinian state impossible. At a ceremony announcing the new building, Smotrich said that this reality finally buries the idea of a Palestinian state because there is nothing to recognize and no one to recognize.
A close encounter for homeowners in Massachusetts.
Jim Dolan says he and his wife were in their Gloucester townhouse at the time.
We just heard this bam, this pow.
And I jumped up and I said, what the heck was that?
They found some strange rocks that smelled of sulfur on their deck and some damage to the corner of their house. Boston College geophysicist John Ebel believes it was a meteorite.
Every day and every night, there are meteorites coming into the atmosphere.
But he says the odds of one hitting your house are like winning the lottery. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Tariffs are getting the blame for inflation, and Wall Street doesn't like it. The Dow is down 203 points, NASDAQ off 44. KIRO News Radio traffic. In Renton, a crash is blocking a lane on northbound I-405 at State Route 169. In Bellevue, a disabled vehicle is blocking a lane on I-405 near 112th Avenue Southeast. You are slow on eastbound 16 through Tacoma and on I-405 southbound through Bothell due to earlier issues. You have 2 lanes closed for construction northbound on I-5 near the Ship Canal Bridge. Express lanes are open northbound, putting pressure on your southbound drive. Travel time Linwood to Seattle, about an hour, half an hour longer than usual. Alderwood to South Center on I-405 is 65 minutes, 6 minutes longer. Traffic brought to you by Subaru of Puyallup. Headed to work? Subaru of Puyallup Service Department opens at 5 a.m. 6 days a week. Subaru of Puyallup. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Cloudy skies today with highs in the low 70s. It's 61 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio Northwest News.
I'm their conduit, and I'm glad to do it.
It is 9:34, and you're listening to the Gee and Ursula Show on this Thursday morning. And come this weekend, we are going to have another doozy when it comes to being on the roads. And, of course, Chris Sullivan's going to join us and give us the warnings.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of rain.
You say that facetiously.
Seahawks game. Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Okay, so what are we expecting?
All northbound lanes of I-5 are going to be closed across the Ship Canal Bridge all weekend long. This is the back end of the month of hell. They are getting rid of the work zone there that they've had the last month for the 2-lane closure that they've been working on. So about midnight tomorrow night, they'll close all the lanes from about I-90 up past the Ship Canal Bridge to 45th, so they can remove that work zone. So everything will return to normal on Monday, and we will have made it through this month of hell, as we have been struggling, definitely because of it.
Saleh, tomorrow night, Seahawks game starts at 7 p.m. Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs will be at Lumen Field. I'd say the game will probably end about 10:15. What would you suggest people do right after the game?
Go. Get the heck out of Dodge.
Why?
Go. Because not only will the freeway be closing at midnight, they'll be closing some on-ramps to northbound 5, probably starting in the 9 to 10 o'clock time frame. So your ramp might be closed that you're used to getting on. So that's one option. Another thing would be maybe to go down one exit to the south and come back in northbound, because the express lanes will be open northbound the entire time. So you could do that, or drive right into the heart of downtown. Now, I know this is going to sound weird, and then go up towards 4th. Go up right past to City Hall, take the right there at Cherry, and go up and get on the express lanes there, because this weekend they're waiving the HOV requirement for you to get on at that on-ramp there that goes under the building and then works your way into the express lanes that way. I might try that. Light rail, obviously, is a good one. It can be. But, again, you're not going to be walking in the rain. So, yeah, leave early. Wait for unless you've got you're waiting to see, what some of the youngsters are doing on the team, which I know a lot of preseason is. Maybe leave in the third quarter if you're wet and tired and want to get home, because this is going to have an impact. The first weekend we did this a month ago was not nice, and it is not going to be nice again.
Okay, what about radioactive roads? What are we talking about?
Oh yeah, by the way, before we get to radioactive roads, I really wanted to focus on the choke point that I did today about the closure of I-5.
Okay.
Because this last month of hell is a taste. Just a taste.
It's gonna get worse.
Yeah.
This is the foreplay of what's happening.
Yeah. Next year, there are going to be 2 4-month-long closures, just like we went through on northbound I-5. So basically 8 months of hell next year, northbound I-5, and then the following year in 2027, we're going to have 9 months of lane restrictions going southbound. So what we experienced right now, and you thought it was bad,
it was
going to be much worse.
Wait.
For much longer the next 2 years.
My people down south, when we get ready to come up north to come to Seattle, you're saying things about to get real for us.
Yeah, because eventually what's going to happen again in 27, again, this is a long time from now, but something to think about. Those northbound express lanes are not going to be options for you coming up from the south end. They're going to be open all southbound the whole way. That's in 27. Next year, it's going to be just like the setup we had this year. But either way, we did this for a month and it was terrible during the summer. These are going to be during the year when kids are in school events, school sporting events, all sorts of stuff. So I need you guys to get ready and be prepared that this was just a little appetizer for what's coming up.
2027, the Jetsons said we'd be flying by the end.
Yeah, that's true. Now to get to radioactivity. This is one of the weirdest things I've ever talked about. When we found out there was a radioactive potential issue with a crash this morning, we were all like, where was that on the bingo card? And so what happened was we had a suspected drunk driver plow through a construction zone on right before the Tacoma Narrows Bridge on eastbound 16. One of the pieces of equipment they were using works kind of like ground penetrating radar. It uses gamma rays over the top of the asphalt to look at the density of the asphalt to find out at a chemical molecular level, what are we dealing with down there? They're trying to make sure that the road is because they're in the process that they're going to do some repaving in the area. Well, that piece of equipment was caught up in this crash. And so it uses radioactive material to shoot those rays down into the ground. And they were concerned of a potential leak, they weren't quite sure how to handle that. So they had to call in the Department of Health. They probably aren't on standby right away for a radioactive issue at midnight near the Tacoma Narrows Bridge. Took a while for them to get in there. Plus they had to clear the crash, and then they had to deal with this hazmat situation. Took them about 7 hours before they were able to secure the device, make sure it was okay, put it in a protective box, and get it out of there. But it was rough this morning, and I've never had radioactive material get in the way in our commute, but it did today. I'm glad everything worked out okay. I know a lot of people got stuck in long delays. It was rough, but no problems, no mini Hulks running around the Tacoma Narrows Bridge.
Okay, I need help with this is a personal question because my family is leaving, going back to Germany on Friday afternoon. If I need to go to the airport, if I need to go to SeaTac Airport Friday afternoon, and yes, I am going to drive them there happily, what time am I leaving if their flight leaves at 5?
Their flight okay, so that means that you'll be on the road prior to most of the Seahawk traffic coming from where you are, because the game's at 7. I'm assuming if you're a good airport person like I am, their flight's at 5. You're getting them to SeaTac at 3.
At least. It's an international flight.
Well, whatever. Germany, it's fine.
Okay.
I would say, if you're leaving from, I mean, if you're leaving at 1 o'clock
we're good.
and getting to SeaTac, you'll be fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
we're good. That's what I said. 1 o'clock.
Ben in Gold Bar wants to know if southbound I-5 will be closed Saturday morning on the 16th.
No, I-5 southbound? No. No, it's northbound. The 16th is I'm
just covering our listeners.
It just feels though like if you have to do anything on I-5, you've got to be aware that it could just be 2 more hours than you wanted it to be.
Oh, and by the way, I hope you don't want to go up to Snoqualmie Pass this weekend.
No.
18 is closed in both directions over Tiger Mountain all weekend long as well, from Issaquah, Hobart to 90. So good luck on that.
Man, that's tough. Okay, Sully, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, enjoy.
Before we talk about what's coming up next, Ursula, some folks have been asking me why am I wearing all this pink today? And I'm representing Team Pink Chemo Club. A bunch of folks that I met at Obliteride here this past weekend. You can see I got the Obliteride shirt and everything. And
Fred
you can
Hutch.
see this Fred Hutch, their cancer research, and they do raise all the money there. So this amazing team, when they came by the finish line, I said, oh my goodness, those hats. And one of them walked over to me.
Team Pink.
Team
Chemo
Pink
Club.
Chemo Club. And they gave me this represented. So I said, you know what? I'm going to do today's show, and I'm going to do my podcast representing Team Pink, baby.
I love it. Kind of part of the Pink Pony Club.
But full transparency, I destroyed this outfit because the hat was cool. I think it goes with the shirt. What was the heck was I doing with the shoes?
You got pink shoes, too.
I got pink shoes on.
Now, if you're watching on YouTube, you'd be seeing this right now. Okay, they're pretty cool.
Okay, coming up next, Would You Rather? Gee and Ursula.
The Jake and Spike Show.
I check it late at night when my wife's not looking.
Weekdays, noon to 3.
My favorite thing on my phone, which is my weather app.
First thing, nonstop.
My number one app. Every day it tells me it's the number one thing I use on my phone.
First thing I looked at when I woke up.
First thing I see in the morning, last thing I see at night is the weather.
Then I'll roll over and kiss her after that.
My wife says, don't kiss me after you look at your weather app.
I feel hot and sweaty.
Watch the Jake and Spike Show live on YouTube or the KIRO Newsradio app.
When you are in the market for a new car, of course, you're going to want to make sure that you get an excellent deal, that you're going to be treated with respect, and you're not going to have to hassle with people who are going to be hassling you and trying to get you into a car that you really can't afford, or with all these gadgets that you just simply don't need. Well, I'm going to tell you that the dealership that I will choose over and over again is Carter Subaru. And right now, Carter Subaru has their A Lot to Love event going on through the end of August. And they have a fantastic selection. And in fact, they are the only dealership in Seattle with the 2025 Outback at 0% for 36 months on approved credit. Or you can take advantage of the federal tax credit before it goes away and lease a 2025 Subaru Solterra. I am a repeat customer at Carter Subaru. They are the best. Right now, you can get a credit of up to $7,500 with that federal tax credit. Head into Carter Subaru in Shoreline and Ballard today.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. Not all buyers will qualify for federal tax credit. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. Carter Subaru is buying down the rate for the 2025 Outback. The max amount financed is $20,000. See dealer for details. Valid through 8/31/25. Your new beginning starts now. D.R. Horton has new construction homes available throughout the greater Seattle area. With spacious floor plans, flexible living spaces, and home technology packages, you can enjoy more cozy moments and sweet memories in your beautiful new home. With new home communities opening throughout the Seattle area, D.R. Horton has the ideal home for you. Visit drhorton.com to learn more. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It is G. Scott here. College students, listen up. Whether you're at a university, junior college, or tech school, Safeway's got your back with 5% off just for being a student. All you got to do is verify your student ID in the app. Boom! Instant savings and exclusive deals. And parents, I see you too. Make life easier with online shopping and delivery. If it's your first time using delivery, guess what? You get $30 off your first order. Now, here's the real game changer. Fresh Pass. Subscribe and enjoy unlimited free delivery and special offers. And if you use EBT, you get Fresh Pass for 50% off plus big savings on fresh produce. That's right. Healthy food, delivered, and affordable. It's a lot of info, I know, but the savings is significant. Worth the time. So if you have or know a college student, make sure they visit Safeway.com/for-you. That's FOR and the letter U. Again, Safeway.com/for-you.
You still have 40 million plus vehicles globally that are driving around with a potential ticking time bomb, a grenade in either their steering wheel or their dashboard. When we look to what injuries may have transpired from a defective airbag, we generally see loss of vision in an eye, or we see facial lacerations. We also see hearing loss. Unfortunately, we started seeing death after death after death. When that passenger airbag exploded, it basically degloved his entire face. He lost his nose, he lost his right eye. The type of catastrophic injuries that one is more accustomed to seeing in a Hollywood movie, and not something from a device in an automobile that's supposed to protect you. Morgan & Morgan has a national reach in terms of handling and prosecuting cases. Notwithstanding the team of lawyers that we have collected that focus only on product liability day in and day out.
Morgan & Morgan. Visit us at badairbags.com for an office near you. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
I just saw 2 houses for sale. Same neighborhood, almost identical, but one had an Orchard sign and it sold for way more. So I asked my friends at Orchard, why? The first house used a traditional agent. After weeks of price drops and frustration, they settled for less than they'd hoped for. The second homeowner chose Orchard and got more. Their local Orchard agent didn't just list a home, they marketed it. They knew exactly which upgrades would attract serious buyers and brought in a pro to handle everything. And even more, with Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program, the homeowner moved into their new home before their old one even hit the market. They skipped all the hassles and showings. Never settle for less. Get more with Orchard. The smarter, faster, hassle-free way to buy your new home, even before your old home sells. Start with Orchard's free home valuation at Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com. Orchard.com.
Okay, Nick, that's what I'm talking about.
Little Bobby B.
All right. Well, I got to get some, you know what? I got to get some music or some kind of sounder for Would You Rather.
Okay, that's going to be on our list of things to do.
I'm going into this segment naked.
Yeah, we've got it. We've got it. Yeah, keep a little bit of music on.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Here we go. This is for Allie in Tacoma because this is her favorite segment.
Okay.
Would you rather live without electricity for a year or give up bathing for a year?
I'll give up bathing.
I'll give up bathing too.
Are you serious?
I'm giving up bathing.
Man.
I'm gonna be walking around funky with some internet.
I'll give up the bathing, but I will have a lot of perfume, sponges.
Here's the deal. I just came back from camping, right? So I don't miss the electricity, but after 2 days, you're like, whew, I need a shower.
Yes.
Bad.
To see that's key to what you just said. You just came back from camping. You choose to go camping. You go camping frequently. Yeah. G and I would need our Louis Vuitton luggage. I'm putting myself in your category.
All right, Nick. Nick, what you doing, bro?
Give me the electricity. I can go without a shower for a day or two. You know,
for a year.
For a year?
Yeah, more than that.
For a year.
There are workarounds. You know,
some people do that on a regular.
Hey, look here. I'm about to tell my wife, hey, you stay in that room. I'll stay in this room. All right, here we go. Here's the next one. Would you rather find out that your partner has a secret family or that they are a secret agent for a foreign government?
Secret agent for a foreign government.
That was kind of no-brainer.
Yeah, that one, yeah.
That was kind of That was kind of no-brainer.
Yeah, that's too easy.
That was too easy.
It's kind of gender specific too, because like, how'd my wife be hiding her other kids? I don't know.
Yeah, that was easy. That sucked. I wasted one. All right, here's the last one. that was easy. That was easy. All right. Would you rather be arrested and sentenced to prison for 1 year or go without, air quotes, cuddling the rest of your life?
Wait, what was that one?
Would you rather be arrested and sentenced to prison for 1 year or go the rest of your life without, air quotes, cuddling?
I ain't doing any prison time.
I ain't doing no prison time either. I'm telling y'all, I am the scariest person in the world. I can't do prison time.
Nope.
Look here.
Man, I'm 5'5" and I'll take a year in prison, bro. Like, I'm sorry. I gotta have some joy in my life. Sometimes, you gotta go through it to get to it.
Allie in Tacoma says, bye, cuddles.
Nick, what you doing, bro?
I think I'm giving up the cuddles. I gotta, I don't want to go to prison, man.
People?
Who knows what's gonna happen?
A year is a year. Your life is forever.
Because there's a possibility possibility, Ursula, that you could go to prison for that year, and when you come out, you've changed your philosophy on cuddling.
They're going to break you down in there.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, somebody came in your cell and cuddled with you.
I thought I was going to be squirming a lot more on this.
I know it was a lot funnier this morning.
Yeah.
this morning, and the thing is this second one that I wasted. I feel like I wasted time with that one right there with the your partner on a secret family or finding out they're a secret agent. I messed up.
Hey, coming up at 10 o'clock. Okay, so we're already getting into some debates here, but we are going to have an interview that you don't want to miss. So if you have certain ideas of undocumented immigrants and whether they should even be allowed here in this country, even if they have been perfect citizens and just basically working a job, I'm curious if you're going to change your mind after you hear our interview. Or are you going to double down?
I like that. I like the way you just said that. This interview that's coming up, do you feel the same or did it change your mind a little bit?
Yeah, and did you learn anything new? Because I was reminded of how we make a lot of assumptions as to how easy it is to get that citizenship.
Yeah.
So we'll have that interview coming up right after Heather's newscast.
All right, Gee and Ursula.
The Seahawks are back at it.
Here's Milroe rolling out to the right side and throws a dart.
In another important step in building this year's team.
Touchdown, Seahawks! Torrey Horton from 10 yards out.
I just feel like it's that competitive mindset that I got.
Preseason game number 2, Seahawks, Chiefs, tomorrow night. Steve Rabel brings you the action at 7. The pregame show starts at 5 on the place where the 12s hear the Hawks. KIRO Newsradio on 97.3 FM.
If your closets are bursting at the seams, it's time to call the pros at Closets by Design Seattle, closetsbydesign.com, or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN to schedule your free in-home design consultation today. One more time, that's closetsbydesign.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. 1 discount per household.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel you attract people who tend to be compulsive or abusive?
Do you have money problems because of someone else's drinking?
Are you afraid or embarrassed to bring your friends home?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
More than half of all adults have a family history of alcoholism.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too. Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Gee and Ursula, weekdays from 9 to noon on KIRO News Radio.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that. and third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
Lowe's knows when you're looking for reliability, the right brand makes all the difference. And now, Lowe's is the exclusive home improvement retailer for the Whirlpool water treatment line, including their Wi-Fi softener, under-sink filtration system, and more. With Whirlpool's proven performance and our everyday low prices, better tasting, better quality water is within reach. Shop pro-trusted brands like Whirlpool and more, in-store or online. Lowe's, we help, you save.
Hey, Brock Heward here. Taking the First Mark Insurance Challenge could save your family a lot of money. It saved us thousands. First Mark works for you. Search in the carriers for lower rates and better coverage. If that sounds smart, go to firstmarkinsurance.com. Did you know in Washington State, you can see a physical therapist without a referral from your doctor? That's right. Thanks to Direct Access, you can skip the wait and get the care you need right away. Shannon O'Kelly, how has Direct Access changed the game?
Direct Access for us, Brock, is a game changer. Why? Is because there is so much research and data out there that says if you get in early when you have a musculoskeletal problem or an injury, the earlier you get in and we can start care, the better outcomes and the decreased downstream cost, okay? So it's so important. Our providers are all doctors of physical therapy. They're all trained to identify situations and problems. They've got the skill, they've got the talent, they've got the knowledge. If you get in and start therapy early, we're going to get you back to activity, pain-free, and moving and having fun.
Fast, easy, effective. Direct Access is your path to better movement, starting with a single step. Visit irgpt.com to schedule your appointment today. irgpt.com.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Steve Kathan. Secretary of State Rubio says it's up to Ukraine and Russia to find peace, and tomorrow's Trump-Putin summit could determine if that's possible.
The president's spoken to him, I believe, 4 times by phone. I felt it was important to now speak to him in person and look him in the eye and figure out what was possible and what isn't.
The president's about to make remarks at the White House. CBS's Torian Small.
Trump and Putin last met in Japan in 2019. This time they'll sit down at Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson outside Anchorage, Alaska. It's difficult for Putin to travel abroad because of sanctions and war crimes allegations, so the Treasury Department issued him and his team a special license to land on U.S. soil. It expires after August 20th.
Now to Washington, D.C. Heavy equipment clears out a homeless encampment near the Kennedy Center. The Trump administration says it's cracking down on homelessness and crime in its takeover of the city police force and mobilization of the National Guard. Drug use and crime have gotten so bad in one New Mexico city that the governor, that is, has declared a state of emergency.
Espanola Police Chief Miguel Garcia says calls to his department have more than doubled over the past 2 years.
I'm at about maybe 30 officers, so we have to do a lot more with what we have.
Espanola and Rio Arriba County have the highest drug overdose death rate in the state. Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham's emergency declaration includes $750,000 to help local police, but no National Guard troops, like the declaration she signed for Albuquerque earlier this year. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Forecasters have their eye on tropical storm Aaron. It's not seen as a major threat to land, but could become a hurricane tomorrow. Meteorologist Craig Allen.
Aaron is going to be moving into a much more favorable environment over the next 24 hours, and I think rapid intensification is going to become a major concern.
The government reports a sharp 3.3% rise in wholesale prices in July over last year. And as consumers worry about inflation, CBS's Nancy Chen reports Fast food chains are seeing business drop, especially in the morning.
We're really talking about a fast food market, generally speaking, that is basically tanking right now.
Jonathan Mays is editor-in-chief of Restaurant Business Magazine.
Why are customers shying away from fast food breakfast?
The low-income consumer in particular are concerned about the state of the economy. They've been frustrated by prices, hurt by inflation, and breakfast is just an easy thing to cut out.
Wall Street, the Dow is down 160. This is CBS News.
Progressive Insurance, with insurance for cars, home, boat, motorcycles, RVs, and commercial vehicles at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com.
A crash involving radioactive material? The story coming up, but first, KIRO Newsradio traffic. In Renton, the crash has been cleared from northbound I-405 at State Route 169. In Bellevue, a disabled vehicle is blocking a lane on I-405 near 112th Avenue Southeast. You have 2 lanes closed for construction northbound on I-5 near the Ship Canal Bridge. Express lanes are open northbound, putting pressure on your southbound drive. So travel time, Linwood to Seattle, is an hour. That's half an hour longer than usual. Alderwood to South Center on I-405 is 72 minutes, about 20 minutes longer. Traffic brought to you by KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. Construction gear that contains radioactive material was damaged in a crash near the Narrows Bridge overnight. Trooper John DeTillo.
A vehicle entered a construction zone here and struck several pieces of equipment and construction vehicles. Thankfully, no workers were injured in this crash. The driver was placed under arrest for DUI and taken to an area hospital, and I have been told that they are not injured.
First responders didn't think there was any danger to the public from the radioactive material, but out of an abundance of caution, they closed eastbound 16 while they decontaminated the area. The highway was closed for hours. A man accused in a deadly hit-and-run in Skyway last month has pleaded not guilty. Deputies say 74-year-old Daniel Hayes was drunk when his RV hit a parked truck, which then struck and killed Susana Garcia Perez. KIRO 7 TV was in court when her son told the judge.
I think he should face the consequences for the decision he made. Driving drunk is not an accident, it's a choice.
The judge set Hayes bail at $250,000. A fast-moving brush fire caused temporary evacuations in the Thurston County town of Rainier. KIRO 7 TV's Samantha Lomibao has more.
Part of the fire made it to Alciniza's property.
It was a wildfire.
He tells me he was home when the flames were headed his way.
And so I was like, okay, time to grab the dogs and call my family. It's like, we got to get out of here.
Ceniza says he called 911 and started hosing down what he could until the firefighters arrived in just minutes. Flames melted Ceniza's fence, greenhouse, and part of his flower garden. But thankfully, the fire was stopped just short of his home.
The fire was contained to just a couple dozen acres. Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell's chief of staff and longtime aide has resigned. Jeremy Rocca has worked with Harrell since 2011, but he tells the Seattle Times he's had 2 cardiac events recently, and the stress of politics isn't helping his health. He's moved to New York and is taking a job at a law firm. The owner of the NHL Carolina Hurricanes just bought the NBA Trailblazers for $4 billion, and he's planning to keep the Trailblazers in Portland. Local fans hope so, telling KOIN TV.
I mean, everybody here's a Blazers fan, so it would be pretty devastating for the city to lose like one of the only big franchise sports.
The estate of the late Paul Allen is selling the team to fund charitable projects. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Cloudy skies today with highs in the low 70s. It's 61 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Happy Thursday, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show, August 14th. Ursula, I think we got D-Dub in Lakewood, got him awake this morning.
Yes, with your would you rather.
Yes, we did.
Because he thinks we too easily said we would rather go to jail for a year. No. We said we would rather give up basically sex for a year. You said cuddling.
No.
Just put
sex for life.
For life.
For life.
The rest of the life.
For
yes.
life.
in exchange for a year.
Yeah.
We answered it too easily.
Too easily.
Yes. So apparently DW disagrees.
Yeah, DW.
But I'm not seeing a whole lot of opposing opinions on the text line.
Because everybody agreed. Because they said, boy, ain't no telling. It could be cuddling happening in prison. All right,
this
Ursula,
is true.
Let's get serious.
Text us 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. We're going to get right into it because we want to make sure that you have time to listen to our upcoming interview.
What's new at 10?
What is it like to live here in the state of Washington, or in this country for that matter, if you are not here legally? For many of our listeners, including Jesus, who came here as a child from Mexico City, it means that you wake up every day with a question that most of us never have to ask. Will I make it home tonight? Will I be arrested? So imagine going to work or going to the grocery store or walking your kids to school knowing that you could be pulled off the street, put into a van, and then be taken to a detention center without your wife or your children having any idea where you've been taken. So we began our interview by asking Jesus the first question anyone wants to know, which would be, why did you come to the United States?
Why did I move here? I'll start with that. My parents brought me when I was 8 years old. You know, I think at the time they were doing what they thought was best for me and for my brother. At the time, it was just the two of us. And I've been here since I was 8. And I say I didn't make that choice because, you know, they brought me, but I'm happy to be here.
So you're 8 years old when you get here. When or if did you ever think, hey, you know what? I want to try to become a U.S. citizen?
Well, a very common misconception, I think, is that pathway to citizenship is open and clear for everyone to just take that first step, right? It's something that you can decide and just say, yep, I want to become a citizen, so let me start that process. Unfortunately for me, because I didn't have anyone that could petition me to become a resident, which is the first step. You want to gain some kind of legal status and then become a resident and then apply for citizenship after, but I've never had anyone that can, petition me to become a resident even, or the only thing that I had available to me was the deferred action for childhood arrivals known as DACA. That's been the only thing that I've ever had there. So becoming a citizenship, unfortunately, through that pathway, it's never been available to me. I've never even got a chance really to put in the paperwork before they stopped approving them because of a court order in Texas.
Well, what did you do for work back then?
Well, for as long as I can remember, I've done sales.
Okay.
That's what I do, without giving too much away about what I do now. But what I've been doing now, I've been doing that for 15 years through different capacities, different companies. I've gotten lucky over the years that a lot of the places that I work at were not asking for e-verification, which is what, there's a lot of people now asking to make it mandatory where you have to do e-verify to hire someone. And I kind of got lucky that I squeaked on by and no one checked to make sure that I was supposed to be here working legally. And then when DACA became available, that was the first thing that I tried to do was to get it all filled out, and circumstances in my life kept me from, submitting the paperwork. And eventually when I got a chance to do it, that court order stopped me from doing it. So that's how I've been able to work.
So we are speaking with Jesus, who is an undocumented immigrant and has been here since he was 8 years old. So you said there were some circumstances in your life that prevented you from moving forward through DACA. Can you get into a little bit of that?
Yeah. Specifically, in order to just even submit a DACA application, I don't know if you guys know, but there is a $500 fee that you have to pay. So it's kind of what you pay to process the paperwork. That was the first thing. I guess, honestly, a little bit of the second was fear. A little bit of the thought if I did, in fact, submit all my information to the government, it would be used against me and they would come find me. I got a little comfortable in my job thinking, I'll be fine here as long as I don't quit or get fired, I'll be good. So I kept pushing it off. And the biggest thing was money. And then second, the fear of the government coming after me for giving them all of my info, which we've seen in some cases now that it is happening. The Trump administration has decided to take, the information and they have on all these people who are undocumented or have lost their DACA to come find them and arrest them at their homes.
Jesus, you hear, I mean, obviously you listen to KIRO News Radio constantly, and you hear what's happening a lot right now. When you hear about the demonization of those that are undocumented here in this country, tell me what you think.
It's hard to talk about that without getting choked up, man, because it breaks my heart. I know that me and my family, we're not criminals. We are part of your community. We're your neighbors. We're your friends. We're your coworkers. And I think, due to fear, I think people are scared. People are scared of losing what they have. And the government has done a really good job. I mean, I should say the current administration has done a really good job of vilifying us and making us out to be the source of all the problems, and historically we've seen that happen with other, authoritarian governments where they want to come in and control the narrative. And this is a narrative they're pushing now, is that we're criminals and we're bad people. And, to me, it breaks my heart because I've always considered myself just a member of the community. I like to think I've contributed over the years, with volunteering and doing different things that help my community. And even at my job, I have a philosophy of helping my customers and making sure they're happy first, whether I make the sale or not. Sometimes I'm just happy that we're able to be helped because some people don't want to help them with their issues sometimes. And again, it just makes me sad. It makes me feel like people don't want me here. And I've been here my whole life. I really don't know another life. I can't say I remember Mexico that much.
Jesus, could you tell us, without giving away too much about yourself or putting yourself at any additional risk, do you have a wife and children?
Yes, I have a wife and I have 2 kids and one more on the way.
Oh, wow. So, Jesus, tell us when, obviously, you have been going through this since you were 8 years old, but I don't know that it has been this type of climate the way that it is ever before.
It never has been.
Tell us when you said to yourself, uh-oh, this is real. And also tell us when and what changes you started to make as far as being careful. I'm not doing this anymore. Okay, I have to do this. Talk us through that.
Every day I hear news on the radio that say, people are going to be held in detention now. They're no longer going to be deported. Things are getting worse, things like alligator Alcatraz. I don't want to end up in a situation like that where I'm locked up and my family who depends on my income and obviously my love, right, for them. I don't want to leave them without any of that. And so I have to be careful not to talk about this with anybody who is curious. And I've had customers at my store who have come up to me and asked me, hey, you mentioned before something about your status and I'm just worried about you. And so, I'm trying not to share with anyone, not to bring attention to myself because I don't want someone who just thinks that they are the police, try to police me and call ICE on me or something, And as far as like behaviors, in everyday life, I have to be extra careful. I have to be, extra diligent on the road, that I don't make a mistake, that I don't do something that, for example, I see people speeding on the freeway every day. I commute for work about 45 minutes each way. So I see a lot of people on the road breaking the rules of the road. I can't speed, right? Because if I'm speeding and I get pulled over, that could be it for me. So little things like that where I just have to be extra conscious of the fact that I'm not allowed to break the law. No one's allowed to break the law, but especially me. I've even really stopped going to places where I think immigration could be, places where a lot of, Hispanics gather. Like even sometimes just going to the Mexican grocery store kind of freaks me out because I'm thinking like, let me, drive around first and make sure they're not there waiting for me. So it's like living a little bit in paranoia, but I like to think I'm just being careful,
Jesus, how is that sustainable, and what are you hoping for in the future, given what is happening under this current administration and your efforts to get that documentation have not worked so far?
I wouldn't call it sustainable. I know that I can't live like this forever, and there has been times when I wish that my circumstances were different so that maybe I could do something different for work or, something that can, everybody wants to find something that pays more. But for me, I'm I feel like I'm stuck where I'm at because I don't want to rock the boat. I want to keep the job I have, keep making the salary I'm making. But, my wish or my hope really is that the administration will open their eyes, and I don't have a lot of hope for this, but maybe bring about some kind of immigration reform where, people like myself who, again, we're not criminals. I don't have a criminal record at all. I wish they would give us a chance to really take that first step, because right now there is really no first step that we can take. Again, people everywhere ask me all the time, like, well, why haven't you just done it? It's not something I can just choose to go and get my citizenship. But if they gave us a path, I guarantee you I'd be there again asking to be considered and to have that opportunity to become a resident, to become a citizen. I love this country. I really do. And I love my community. I love the state. But if they're not willing to give us a chance, then I really don't know what's going to happen. I guess eventually they'll catch up to me.
Listening to the voice of Jesus. Jesus is a listener of the show and also happens to be an undocumented immigrant. And Jesus, you've heard us here on KIRO News Radio talk about this topic on immigration. We talk about mass deportation. We talk about a lot of things when it comes to this. What is there that Ursula and I, what's something that we don't talk about? What is something that we miss? What is something we get wrong? I just want to make sure that there's everything that we better understand about what's going on.
The one thing I'll point out during this conversation is that question about, why haven't I become a citizen yet? And I think not just you guys, but I think a lot of people in general just, again, they have this misconception that the reason we're not here legally already or we haven't become permanent residents or citizens is because we don't want to. Everyone that I know that has. They've taken the steps to legally, be here and to change their status to being here legally. So again, so that they don't have any issues. I think people have this idea that if we're here legally, it's because we want to be here legally. We really don't. And honestly, with you guys, hear you guys talk about this all the time, and there's not a whole lot that you guys get wrong. I'll be honest. That's why I like listening to you guys. You guys are fair. You guys are one of the only places where I can still hear a sensible take on things. That's the only thing I can think of where, people just have the assumption that we haven't done it because we simply don't want to. But if the government gave us a chance to be here legally to apply, even though there's a great chance or a great risk of them using the information against us down the road, which we've seen that they do that, we would take it. And so that's the only thing I can think of.
No, Jesus, I just learned something, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was asking that question all the time. Well, how come you haven't applied for citizenship? So, you just educated me on something. So I think I'm gonna try to be better going forward with that understanding.
Jesus, thank you. Sure. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for your bravery in doing that. And we wish you the best and are also wishing for dramatic immigration reform. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you guys for having me on. Again, I listen every day. I love the show. So keep doing what you guys are doing. You guys are awesome.
So you heard it, Jesus, and we are taking in your text messages. Many of you. Greg from Salty says, as a lifelong service industry worker, I know how much we depend on people like Jesus. If we lock them up or drive them away, we are only screwing ourselves. And then we hear from folks like Nazi, who says that, as he has no sympathy for him. He says that, and I got to just point out, though.
Talk to me.
He was brought here as an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
Okay, and he explained how it's not just that easy. Just go get your citizenship, or and with the DACA program, which again I just figured out today. I just learned today that you have to reapply for that every 2 years, which comes with a fee. And now with the situation today, as he stated, do you do that and then risk the possibility of deportation anyway?
Right. Yeah, I'm hearing you. 8 years old. Hey, Ursula. First of all, thank you guys for getting this interview, and thank you to Jesus for having the courage to come on our show in spite of. But you know what stands out to me, and I know you all are thinking it. Some of you all have already texted, and some of you all have said, he's so well-spoken. He's articulate, right? And Ursula, for me, when I hear that, and we're talking about this, there's so many people in this country that they have to speak a certain way to get the benefit of the doubt, right? And I'm just to the point now where I'm doing this show with you. Like, I talk how I talk, but I can say that now. It didn't used to always be like this. I used to have to try to prove myself and prove that I'm intelligent, prove that I'm this, because then if you hear that, oh, he's so well-spoken, then you think favorable of this person if they speak a certain type of way. And that's what really stands out to me in that interview with Jesus, because when you hear him speak and you hear him talk and answer your questions, it's definitely away from the narrative that you might hear in commercials around the world or in people's narrative about them.
Well, I would love to hear from all of you. Has he opened your eyes to anything, or do you still feel the same way? Too bad. Do you think someone like that, too bad, you need to be deported, regardless of the fact that you were brought here as a child, as an 8-year-old, and that you have tried and you want a way, you want a pathway to citizenship? So I would love to hear from you. Again, text us 888-973-5476. Also weigh in if you're watching us on YouTube. We'll have a lot more of the Gee and Ursula Show coming up.
But 2/3 of youngsters kind of think like you and I. I'll tell you what that is next. Gee and Ursula.
This hour is brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington.
Ah, summer in the Puget Sound region, hanging at the beach. A nice coffee on a long walk with the pooch. And so much time sitting in traffic every weekend, literally going nowhere.
We've all felt it. Big construction projects are underway across the region, and I can help you get around the big delays.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru. Get all of Sully's choke points at mynorthwest.com and the KIRO Newsradio app.
I just saw 2 houses for sale. Same neighborhood, almost identical, but one had an orchard sign, and it sold for way more. So I asked my friends at Orchard, why? The first house used a traditional agent. After weeks of price drops and frustration, they settled for less than they'd hoped for. The second homeowner chose Orchard and got more. Their local Orchard agent didn't just list a home, they marketed it. They knew exactly which upgrades would attract serious buyers and brought in a pro to handle everything. And even more, with Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program, the homeowner moved into their new home before their old one even hit the market. They skipped all the hassles and showings. Never settle for less. Get more with Orchard, the smarter, faster, hassle-free way to buy your new home, even before your old home sells. Start with Orchard's free home valuation at Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com. Orchard.com.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done. This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
What if everything you thought was real wasn't? From the hit TV series The Carbonaro Effect, Michael Carbonaro brings his mind-bending magic and hilarious tricks to the live stage. It's Carbonaro, Lies on Stage. Friday, September 19th at Angel of the Winds Casino Resort. Witness the unbelievable and laugh all night long. Doors at 6:30, show starts at 7:30. Tickets start at just $49. Must be 18 or older. Get yours now at angelofthewinds.com.
We all know that summer's heating up here around Western Washington, and so is the schedule at Valentine Roofing. Now's the time to act before the fall wind and rain expose a real problem. Hey, Jake Skorheim here. Get your roof, siding, or gutter project locked in before Labor Day to secure priority scheduling on select projects. Valentine Priority Scheduling means that they'll begin the work on your home within just 3 weeks of signing your agreement. Spots are limited, so do what I did. Call 206 Roofing to get on Valentine's priority schedule and receive a free estimate. That's 206 Roofing.
Hey, how's your money situation? Are you ready for retirement? Well, if you want to know what the pros are doing to make wealth multiply and retire like royalty, then you need to listen to this show, Sound Path Through Retirement, with Ben Koval and Matt Leibarger. Get your money right and tune in every weekend, Saturdays at 10 a.m. and noon on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card, so let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything! The Capital One Saver card is at table 27 and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu!
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Hey, it's Jason Rantz. Our local tax expert Greg Nunn wants taxpayers to know the IRS is now going after older cases very aggressively. If you received Form CP-504 from the IRS, do not ignore it. Be proactive and resolve your situation with Greg Nunn, N-U-N-N, None Better Tax Resolution.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. Layoffs in Washington State. Oracle plans to axe 160 jobs in Seattle this October. The company says it's under pressure to trim costs amid rising investments in AI infrastructure. That's according to GeekWire, which also reports Bellevue-based T-Mobile laid off an undisclosed number of IT workers around the time it closed a deal to buy U.S. Cellular. And Providence Health plans to cut 126 jobs, 60 of them in Spokane, this fall. Providence tells the Puget Sound Business Journal it's facing pressure on multiple fronts, from rising costs to insurance delays and policy changes. U.S. wholesale prices are up, way up, and tariffs are getting the blame. CBS's Jason Brooks reports.
The government's July Producer Price Index rose 0.9% from the previous month, the strongest monthly gain in over 3 years. while wholesale inflation was up 3.3% year over year, blowing away market estimates.
Inflation, first attributed to the pandemic recovery and now linked to tariffs, is prompting big changes at breakfast. CBS's Nancy Chen explains.
Jonathan Mays is editor-in-chief of Restaurant Business magazine.
Why are customers shying away from fast food breakfast?
Well, the low-income consumer in particular are concerned about the state of the economy. They've been frustrated by prices, hurt by inflation, and breakfast is just an easy thing to cut out.
President Trump insists his tariffs will be good for America, bringing more manufacturing back to the U.S. President Trump plans to meet with Russia's Vladimir Putin in Alaska tomorrow to talk about peace in Ukraine. Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
The president's spoken to him, I believe, 4 times by phone. I felt it was important to now speak to him in person and look him in the eye and figure out what was possible and what isn't.
Ukraine's president is not optimistic. Air Canada is canceling flights ahead of a threatened strike by flight attendants. Airline Vice President Mark Nasser.
Customers whose flights are canceled will be notified promptly and given the option of a full refund.
Something from the sky hits a home in Gloucester, Massachusetts.
We just heard this bam, this pow, and I jumped up and I said, what the heck was that?
Jim and Sue Dolan found strange rocks that smelled like sulfur on their deck, possible meteorites. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 102 points, NASDAQ up 23. KIRO Newsradio traffic, a heads up, the University Bridge is stuck in the up position right now. That's due to a power outage. And remember, you have 2 lanes closed for construction northbound on I-5 near the Ship Canal Bridge. Express lanes are open northbound, putting pressure on your southbound drive. Travel time Linwood to Seattle is 51 minutes, half an hour longer than usual. Alderwood to South Center on I-405 is 62 minutes, 15 longer than typical. Traffic brought to you by Subaru of Puyallup. Having your vehicle serviced is a stress-free promise at Subaru of Puyallup with hours from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. Subaru of Puyallup. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Cloudy skies with highs in the low 70s today at 61 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the Gee and Ursula Show. If you missed our interview, we will get it posted on mynorthwest.com. You can also listen on our podcast, but...
Hats off, Ursula, because you saw this person that texted in, I think it was a week or so ago, and had the idea to do this interview. Number 1, thank you. I'm glad we did. 2, thank you to Jesus. 3, I want to talk to more people like this. And the reason why I want to do this is because what I think it does, right, I think we're not trying to change your opinion, but you actually get to hear from these people that are, and by the way, people, humans that are out here.
Not criminals,
not called aliens and everything. And by the way, this whole illegal aliens, that's political speak. That is just wrong. That's indecent to do. You can say that undocumented immigrants, you can have an opinion like, I don't want them here or they need to do it the right way, but to call them derogatory terms of illegal aliens, and by the way, I'm speaking to all of you that makes it a point to do this. It's gross. You're gross.
Okay, but we're going to switch it up because I want to talk about men.
We went from gross to you're gross to let's talk about men? Can you give a better segue?
Okay, yeah. Well, I think it's a pretty darn good one, actually. Because, okay, here's a question. Should young men aspire to be manly men or soy boys? Really? Okay, so... there is a good chance that maybe there's a young man in your life or someone you know who is picking which lane to ride in. Okay, there's something new in this segment that I'm hearing for the first time today. But anyway, so this is the part that parents need to hear. 2/3 of young men are regularly engaging with masculinity influencers. So they're on social media, and those feeds are basically putting out there this steady diet of rigid gender roles, the quote-unquote high-value man status games, conquest over consent, or the get-rich-quick hustle. And the outrage at women is looked at as this is all part of self-improvement. And the longer they watch, and you know how this goes with the algorithms, it means you're going to just get more and more of that kind of content. And so it turns be disciplined into, okay, it's time to control her, and get fit, and it turns into she owes you, that kind of mentality, which, okay, already just sounds so unhealthy and exactly what we don't want. But I was not aware that 2/3 of young men are getting into this kind of content. So first of all, let's just talk about that.
Well, so I loosely brought this up to you about 2 to 3 weeks ago, and I just kind of said it real fast, and I call it manosphere. Manosphere, MANOSPHERE. And I brought it up because what this is an umbrella term for a diverse collection of online communities that promote ideologies centering around masculinity. And so here's what's happening. I went through it. I did a deep dive on this a few weeks ago, and let me raise my hand. This content comes to me too. Okay.
Oh, it does.
Yeah. So the reason why 2/3 of men are consuming this content, because their algorithm is coming at them. And what it's doing is feeding them misogynistic, anti-feminist, huge extreme points. Like, number one, you ready for this? Number one manosphere, Joe Rogan.
Okay. Has he softened up a little bit, or is he okay? Or is he still going strong in that area?
And by the way, this wasn't a negative shot at Joe Rogan.
Yeah,
if you watch, if you are someone like, I looked at Joe Rogan or I love this content, then your algorithm, they're gonna come at you with the carnivore, with the man stuff. You're not a man.
Someone mentioned Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate, yes. That stuff is popular, right?
And why?
And you ready for this? I'll end it with this. It's some of the reason why Donald Trump just got elected president, because there is. Yes.
It's the image of strength. This is what it means to be a strong man. And there have been books and theories lately that a lot of men are lost these days because women have been making such great strides in the workplace.
Yeah. They say that the today's society makes men soft. Today's society, you ready for this? Makes them gay. They say ignorant things like that. As if, hold on, they try to act like someone being gay or someone that's gay just started in 2025. You see, the ignorance is real. See, people don't want to do the facts on anything. Here's an example of facts. Do you know right now that there's not one coach in college or pro football that has come out to be homosexual?
You've brought that up, and that's kind of astounding because you know that's not the actual case.
No!
Nor is it the actual case that so few football players are actually gay.
Right now, there's zero
professional male athletes, for that matter.
Yeah. So, manosphere. So, this stuff, this content, and look, let me raise my hand. As someone who does a carnivore diet, I get, for real, I get this content that comes at me as well.
Okay. So, on the other hand, there also is the alternative, and I apologize for saying soy boy. That's actually a chef thing, okay? Because I would never come up with that term.
But that's the thing,
But that's a term?
They call you a soy boy. They call you a beta. But here's the thing. A lot of these folks that do this, when I see you online and you do these things, it tells me one thing about you. You are a very insecure man. You are someone that when you were in high school, you got no attention. You see, extremely confident people don't have to bully others.
Oh, okay. No, agree. Agree.
Right?
Yeah, someone hurt you.
You're only a bully. Hurt people want to hurt people.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so on the other hand, though, so the alternative is the performative male. And I was today years old when I learned about the performative male. But you talked about, okay, the New York Times has taken note, though. And so if you're wondering what that is, it's basically the flip side of the chest-beating alpha stereotype. This is someone who has curated his persona. It's an aesthetic designed to signal, y'all, I'm safe, I'm a progressive, I'm one of the good ones. So if you are a feminist-leaning woman or you consider yourself a progressive, so this is the one who wears the beanie and the Toms and is, come on, sipping a matcha oat milk latte and Toting a reusable Trader Joe's bag with a Labubu keychain? This person does not exist. But apparently...
Oh, they exist.
Oh, yes.
So they're doing it in a performative manner because, see, again, that's fake. There's an issue there. Because you're trying to act like something you're not in order to gain
Ursula.
trust.
Yes, Ursula. Yes. You just nailed it for me. And that's what, if we want to come out of this segment with some, it's not words to live by.
Some takeaways.
Some takeaways. Be yourself. And don't let anyone or social media tell you how to be. Let me tell you something.
I love that. If you were rocking the pink today and you have pink,
I got pink
glittery shoes.
I got pink shoes on. Listen, y'all. I got pink shoes on. I got painted toenails. I'm wearing a pink hat.
On occasion, you'll wear
and
pearls.
a pink shirt. Now,
are you trying to make me feel like you're safe?
No, this is what I'm saying. I wish a man would come to me and say, "Oh, you a beta. Oh, you soft." Huh?
Okay, Collins in Seattle called me out, and you're right. Now I'm making fun of those people. I just was wondering, the thing that threw me off, I'm not making fun, but reusable Trader Joe's bag with a Labubu keychain? I mean,
but no. And somebody wants to be. Wait a minute, Ursula. Somebody wants to be
mean.
that. They all through Ballard.
But it says they're being performative.
No, some people want to be that way.
Okay, and I accept all.
What made me wear that spinning belt buckle? That was performative.
I get it.
Scenarios next, Gee and Ursula.
The Jake and Spike Show.
Fine week we got going here.
We got a great week.
Fine week.
Weekdays noon to 3.
Summer.
It is summer. It's very, very hot. I'm not made for the hot heat. I can't stand it. I can't do anything outside because I just start sweating.
I'm canceling an ice delivery pending this updated weather forecast.
My neighborhood ice delivery guy?
Yeah, the guy, he got big tongs, carries it up 3 flights of stairs.
The horse?
You know the guy. I got an ice guy.
You got an ice guy.
Watch the Jake and Spike Show live on YouTube or the KIRO Newsradio app.
Hi, it's John Curley. I've been a patient of Longevity Medical Clinic since 2009, and Longevity Medical Clinic has been helping people live longer, healthier lives for more than 25 years. You know what's amazing, doctor? The feelings that you have after just a couple of months. You sleep better. Your strength and vitality, it is evident that it works. It's really a mindset, though, Dr. Mixon, because a lot of people, this is what's supposed to happen.
Let us help you be stronger, faster, leaner, smarter, sexier, but most important, happier. I'm less impressed by how many years I might live, but how much I live during my years. The option is here. Nobody's going to make you go to longevity. But the opportunity is there, and all you have to do is take advantage of it. I don't know why anybody would not want to do what we do.
And that's where Longevity Medical Clinic comes in. So get your free health analysis. Go to longevitymedicalclinic.com. That's longevitymedicalclinic.com.
Your new beginning starts now. D.R. Horton has new construction homes available throughout the greater Seattle area. With spacious floor plans, flexible living spaces, and home technology packages, you can enjoy more cozy moments and sweet memories in your beautiful new home. With new home communities opening throughout the Seattle area, D.R. Horton has the ideal home for you. Visit drhorton.com to learn more. D.R. Horton, America's builder. An equal housing opportunity builder.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. If you have a 2004 or newer vehicle that's out of warranty or about to be, Endurance is urgently notifying U.S. drivers about their low-cost vehicle coverage plan designed to save drivers thousands on rising vehicle repair costs. Those who qualify can pick their plan, coverage, and repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental cars included. All covered repairs get paid directly to the repair shop for you. Call now for your free quote. Call 800-298-7906. 800-298-7906.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Thinking of a Kia EV? Act fast. Thousands in tax credits end September 30th. Visit KiaofEverett.com for our huge selection. Kia of Everett. Simple, easy, fun.
Cars for Kids, your trusted charity for car donations, also accepts donations of boats, RVs, motorcycles, and real estate. Call today, 877-CARS4KIDS.
Nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all. Sound like your home? Then call for your free inspection.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
It is the Gee and Ursula Show. In case you missed it, we had Jesus on, who's an undocumented immigrant, on the Gee and Ursula Show. We had him on at the top at 10 o'clock. We will play parts of that interview coming up here at 11. If you missed it, stick around for that interview.
And we're going to also maybe bring up some of the opposing views regarding that interview, some of the things that you have texted to us, and it'll spur on a discussion, and I hope make all of you think. And Jesus did a follow-up text message to us, and he says, I hope it helps even one person. And I will just tell you, Jesus, if you're still listening, this is by far the most response that we have gotten today.
You've done a lot for people.
Yes.
All right, Ursula, scenarios.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
Now, I don't know what's been happening lately, Ursula, but none of the would you rathers and none of the scenarios have been really getting you worked up like they used to. Here we go. My 16-year-old son came home from his friend's house yesterday and told me that his buddy's mom gave him a massage. He thought it was awesome. Turns out that right now she's taking classes to get her license and needs people to practice. I get that, but I don't think this is appropriate. And she didn't even ask me for permission first. My husband doesn't think it's a big deal. Of course he doesn't. But I worry about the lack of proper supervision, potential boundary issues, and emotional impact on my son. I want to confront her, but my husband and son are against it. I told him he could never do this again, but he thinks I'm nuts. Am I? 888-973-5476. Ursula steaming.
I'm going to give my mom answer, which would be that is highly inappropriate. I would be extremely upset if that were my son and I found out that a mom said, hey, can I give you a massage. You and I both get massage on a regular basis.
For sure.
And we know that you can get a massage and it not be sexual.
Yeah.
That said, especially with a teenage boy and establishing boundaries, I would take issue and I would say something. I would say something to the mom. Absolutely. I would say something to the mom.
Yeah.
And I would also explain to both my husband and my son why it is inappropriate.
I've been doing this show with you too long. Dang it. I agree with you. The old me would be like, ain't nothing wrong with this. He take off his underwear. He gets up on there, the towel right there, and the mom get the rubbing on his buttocks.
I didn't even go there.
And hamstrings and ham hock and get to rub it.
Gee, this is scenarios, not fantasies.
So anyway, it's highly inappropriate.
All I have to say.
Unless you please listen. Oh, no, you don't.
Actually, I had a buddy in high school whose mom was a massage therapist. And trust me, there was never any inkling. Not one.
Bad.
Okay,
bad.
it's
bad.
I see what you say, and there's but it shouldn't be based on, was she hot or was she not? Or, is there any...
I mean, you asked it first.
I think you put your hands on... you need to have permission.
Yeah.
By the way, I also took issue when... I think I mentioned this once before, but when we were visiting relatives down in the Portland area, we went to the casino down there in Vancouver.
Yeah.
And Stephen was, in his early 20s, but in any case, a woman my age decided she was going to smooch him, give him plant a big old kiss.
Okay.
Now,
did he like it?
No.
Oh, I'm just asking.
Yeah, he thought it was. He thought it was inappropriate, but he also was like, "Okay, Mom." He was telling me, "I was like, this woman was like your age."
Dry or wet kiss.
Does it matter?
Kinda.
She's drunk. And she and then on top of that she said, "You remind me of my son." I'm thinking this lady is a weirdo. And had I known, I would have given her a piece of my mind, even though he's an adult.
Hey.
Too late to change to Alabama music, Nick.
Oh, hey, Nick. Rochelle in the 206 has a nice offer when it comes to music. Let's see if you get it.
Well, we'll see if she gets it too. I get finding a new craft you're good at and being excited about showing it to the new people, but maybe with this skill, be a bit more selective with who your witnesses or even clients are in this case. You want to work on honing the massage game for yourself, go ahead, but maybe not on the sons, though I get wanting to try it out if she's the real deal. Still weird to do that with someone younger. Maybe the dad or the neighbor, I guess. This with the kids is kind of borderline. You want to avoid this.
Well, yeah, there's a couple of things. Eric in Columbia City says, speaking as an LMT, licensed massage therapist, any work on a minor requires permission of the parents, full stop. True.
Oh.
And then Nikki texted in and said, flip the script. Or someone else said that, flip the script. If this were a male massage therapist doing this on a 16-year-old girl.
That's what Barry the 253 said. But however, B and Puyallup said, what's the age of consent around here?
Okay, B and Puyallup. Come on.
You know B and Puyallup.
You know.
But wait. Hey, B and Puyallup and Chef, they the same family. They like to make you think a little bit. Chef, what's the age of consent around this place?
Well, it's 18 or it's a 2-year gap if you're a 16-year-old dating an 18-year-old.
Yeah, I think
Chef knows that right.
Don't try to justify it. It's inappropriate.
Not because I thought about it, dude. Don't try and put that on me.
Rochelle in 206, Nick had Hall & Oates. Can't go for that.
Oh, yeah. I've done that one before. That's a good one, too.
Yeah. All right. Hey, thank you guys for listening to the show. If you missed that interview with Jesus at 10 o'clock, who's an undocumented immigrant, he listens to the show. He came on our show, and here's someone who is definitely does not want to get picked up by ICE. Ursula's going to play parts of that interview and some of your comments as well. So we'll do all that next. Gee and Ursula.
You're in your car every day, but when's the last time your car had a checkup?
At Subaru of Puyallup, we make it easy with stress-free service. Open 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days a week. Swing by before work, after work, or whenever it fits your schedule. No hassle, no pressure, just expert care on your schedule. Your car deserves it, and so do you. Schedule your appointment today at SubaruofPuyallup.com. Subaru of Puyallup, your stress-free dealership.
Cold is leaking and rats are moving and mold is creeping and water seeping in. It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Hey, it's Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision. If you're at the stage where you need readers, whether you've had LASIK or not, it may be time to consider K2 Vision RLE. I tell my King LASIK patients, laser vision correction won't solve the eventual need for reading glasses due to an aging, dysfunctional lens.
But K2 Vision RLE will. It's not a question of if your lens becomes dysfunctional, it's when. At that point, you'll need reading glasses and could benefit from refractive lens exchange, a permanent solution to distance, intermediate, and near vision problems. In other words, no glasses, no contacts, and no readers.
And no cataracts.
Exactly. After K2 Vision RLE, you will never develop a cataract.
K2 Vision RLE is quick and painless.
And because we've performed over 100,000 procedures and followed the outcomes, we have the experience to know if RLE is right for you.
Schedule your free Zoom consultation today at K2VisionRLE.com. And let's get your vision feeling young again, permanently.
Go to K2VisionRLE.com.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. OpenPhone gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. OpenPhone lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you and your team can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? OpenPhone automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With OpenPhone's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions, and use those insights to coach your team and level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with OpenPhone. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try OpenPhone for free at openphone.com/free and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/free. openphone.com/FREE.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. Tomorrow's meeting between President Trump and Russia's leader will be closely watched around the world.
We're going to see what happens with our meeting. We have a big meeting, and it's going to be, I think, very important for Russia, and it's going to be very important for us.
He's promised severe consequences if there's no deal. CBS's Nancy Cordes in Anchorage.
The problem is that President Trump has made these threats before. Sometimes he follows through, sometimes he doesn't. So the question is, how much do those threats really rattle the Russian president?
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is preparing to open a second immigration detention facility, this time at a state prison in North Florida.
The reason of this is not to just
house people indefinitely. We want to process, stage, and then return illegal aliens to their home country. That is the name of the game.
Meteorologist Grant Gilmore is monitoring Tropical Storm Erin as it pushes westward in the Atlantic Ocean.
Strengthening to a Category 1 hurricane tonight into tomorrow morning, and then continuing to strengthen to a major Category 3 hurricane as we go through the weekend.
Erin is expected to turn northward and approach Bermuda early next week. Packing up school lunches will cost you more this year. Jen Clark has that.
A new report from Deloitte US finds that the average daily cost of packing your child's lunch this year is $6.15, which is up more than 3% from last year. That's because the cost of fruit, bread, milk, and condiments like peanut butter have all gone up due to inflation. There's also concern that President Trump's tariffs could raise prices on other foods, including cheese, rice, and beef. Experts say it's still cheaper for kids to buy their lunch at school, but only by a couple of dollars. Jen Clark, CBS News.
Air Canada says it expects to cancel several dozen flights today and as many as 500 by Friday, ahead of a planned strike Saturday by flight attendants. The cancellations could affect 100,000 travelers, and the strike would come at the height of the summer travel season. Air Canada is also the foreign carrier with the largest number of flights to the U.S. Michael George reports quitting smoking can help people quit other substances.
The National Institutes of Health found people who gave up cigarettes had a 42% improved chance of overcoming substance use disorder for alcohol and other substances. The study's authors say smoking cessation programs could be used to help people beat other addictions.
The number of Americans filing for jobless benefits fell modestly last week. Wholesale inflation surged unexpectedly last month. The tariffs on imports are pushing costs higher. On Wall Street today, stocks are mixed. The Dow is off 106 points. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
A car crash and radioactive material. The story coming up at first. KIRO News Radio traffic. In Issaquah, a crash is blocking a lane on I-90 eastbound near Southeast High Point Way. The University Bridge is no longer stuck in the upright position due to a power outage. You have 2 lanes closed for construction northbound on I-5 near the Ship Canal Bridge. Express lanes are open northbound, putting pressure on your southbound drive. So, travel time Linwood to Seattle is 52 minutes, still about half an hour longer than usual. Alderwood to South Center on I-405 is 58 minutes, 12 longer than typical. Traffic brought to you by Seattle Sports. Download the Seattle Sports app to stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. Eastbound State Route 16 near the Tacoma Narrows Bridge was closed for hours earlier today after a crash involving radioactive material prompted first responders to close it. Trooper John DeTillo says a suspected drunk driver plowed into a construction zone overnight.
One of the pieces of equipment that was struck in this crash contains radioactive material. There is no danger to the public right now.
But to be on the safe side, they closed a freeway down until crews could decontaminate the area. The man accused in a deadly Skyway hit and run enters a plea in court. KIRO 7 TV's Ranji Sinha was there when 74-year-old David Hayes faced a judge.
King County Sheriff's deputies say Hayes was driving July 24th when he hit several vehicles. One of those vehicles plowed into Garcia Perez, killing her. Hayes appeared in court and pleaded not guilty to charges of vehicular homicide, hit and run, reckless driving, and driving without a license. The son of Susana Garcia Perez addressed a King County judge.
I think he should face the consequences for the decision he made.
Hayes was not taken into custody until July 25th when someone spotted his damaged RV.
The judge set Hayes bail at $250,000. A fast-moving brush fire caused temporary evacuations in the Thurston County town of Rainier. The flames made it up to this man's property yesterday.
I looked out like there was fire all over, and I was like, oh my God. And so I was like, okay, time to grab the dogs and to call my family. It's like, we got to get out of here.
KIRO 7 TV reports the fire was contained to just a couple dozen acres and the evacuations were canceled. After a disappointing primary, Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell's chief of staff has resigned.
Jeremy Rocca, a longtime aide and chief of staff for Harrell, tells the Seattle Times he left for health reasons, including 2 cardiac events he suffered in the last year and a half. His resignation comes after Harrell came in second in his primary. Challenger Katie Wilson beat Harrell by some 10 percentage points. Former city chief innovation officer. Andrew Meyerberg is Harrell's new chief of staff. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
The Mariners were down by 2 runs against the Orioles in Baltimore last night when the M's managed to do this.
This ball game is tied. A sacrifice fly by Dom Canzone.
It was short-lived. Baltimore won at 4-3, but the Mariners have also won a game, and they're looking to clinch the 3-game series with a win today. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Cloudy skies with highs in the low 70s. It's 63 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
It's the 11 o'clock hour of the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Thursday, August 14th. Good morning, Ursula.
Good morning, G. It's a decidedly different tone in the 11 o'clock hour.
Oh,
What's going on?
Because I was looking at YouTube for a second. I'm off of there now.
Oh, my goodness. Tough crowd over there on YouTube.
It's not the tough crowd. You ever go to a news article, and you go to the news article, and then you look at the comments?
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's me.
That's YouTube.
Yeah, and sometimes it can just suck the energy right out of you.
It's the comments, man.
Okay, but we're still encouraging people to watch us on YouTube if that's the way you like to take in the show. And I just ask that people be kind or respectful, if possible, in the comments. But apparently that's not always the case. Okay, text us. I'll tell you what. Y'all are awesome on the text line. 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. Of course, at 11:30, we do agree to disagree. But right now...
Top stories at 11.
On the Gee and Ursula Show.
So we thought we would share some excerpts of our interview with Jesus. He is an undocumented immigrant who lives here locally, works. He is a father of 2 with a child on the way. He is married. And again, he was brought here from Mexico City as an 8-year-old. And he explained to us in this interview why he doesn't have legal status yet.
In order to just even submit a DACA application, I don't know if you guys know, but there is a $500 fee that you have to pay. It's kind of what you pay to process the paperwork. That was the first thing. I guess, honestly, a little bit of the second was fear, a little bit of the thought if I did, in fact, submit all my information to the government, it would be used against me and they would come find me. I got a little comfortable in my job thinking, I'll be fine here as long as I don't quit or get fired, I'll be good, so I kept pushing it off. And
Okay, so again, you can hear the entire interview later. We'll have it posted on mynorthwest.com. But we also asked him, how does it feel to hear all the anti-immigrant rhetoric and also see what is happening in terms of mass deportations?
It's hard to talk about that without getting choked up, man, because it breaks my heart. I know that me and my family, we're not criminals. We are part of your community. We're your neighbors. We're your friends. We're your coworkers. And I think, due to fear, I think people are scared. People are scared of losing what they have. And the government has done a really good job. I should say the current administration has done a really good job of vilifying us and making us out to be the source of all the problems. And historically, we've seen that happen with other, authoritarian governments where they want to come in and control the narrative. And this is a narrative they're pushing now, is that we're criminals and we're bad people. And, to me, it breaks my heart because I've always considered myself just a member of the community. I like to think I've contributed over the years, with, volunteering and doing different things that help my community. And even at my job, I have a philosophy of helping my customers and making sure they're happy first. Whether I make the sale or not, sometimes I'm just happy that we're able to be helped because some people don't want to help them with their issues sometimes. And again, it just makes me sad. It makes me feel like people don't want me here. And I've been here my whole life. I really don't know another life. I can't say I remember Mexico that much.
I mean, again, he was brought here as an 8-year-old, and if you want to learn more about DACA and the history of DACA and what's going on with that now and the difficulties and how difficult it actually is to become a citizen, I think it would be really helpful as we talk and see what is going on now. But Gee, some of your thoughts about that interview and then also some of the reaction that we're seeing on our text line and on YouTube.
When in this country has there been a time where someone wasn't deemed as the boogeyman? When has there been a time in this country that there hasn't been a marginalized group that has been deemed to be the monsters in this country? I'll answer that for you guys. Never. There has always been someone that is deemed to be the boogeyman. And the thing is that right when we do this show, and I would like to think, Ursula, that things are getting better, but then there's the naive part of me that's like, no, it's not. And we still have people that justify their opinions and try to give you percentages on this is that and this person said this. And at the end of the day, this is all political theater. Because truthfully, most people that you might live next door to or you might work with or for, or you know what I mean? Like most people that know those that are undocumented immigrants in this country, you have some great stories. You have great stories about your church, your grocery store, your school, your work. However, because of this political theater that makes a lot of people money, gets a lot of votes, and fear is with us. So what stands out to me about Jesus and how people are texting in and talking about how articulate that he is. And some are texting in and says, well, let's give this person right here. Yeah, he's not one of the bad ones.
There are people who still think he's one of the bad ones just because he's here illegally.
I've told you this story, and I'll tell it again. 8th grade, I was in Indiana at a family's house, and the grandfather said, well, you seem like one of the good ones. So when I hear this interview and I hear him talk, it's triggering. It's triggering and reminding me that it's never been a time in this country that people have not been demonized. And by the way, bless you if you have nothing to worry about. Bless you if your kids and grandkids don't look that way to where they have to get stopped for no reason, right? Or pulled out of their vehicle for no reason, and frisked and searched for no reason, or no-knock warrants, or oops, sorry, we need the wrong house for no reason. So that's what I think about when I hear this.
So I wanted to share some of your comments. Erica said, Jesus is the norm, not the exception. The Latinos are the new group of hardworking, family-centered people who came through Ellis Island so many years ago. They are the definition of the American dream. I tried to help some friends, and the process to legal citizenship took about 7 years. Raul says the humanity shows. I came here because my father wanted me to grow in the U.S. after he went to Mexico when his Braquero contract expired. And he says we should talk to more folks like him from that hopeful group. 425 says, in my opinion, there are underlying reasons for the focus on people in the country without proper citizenship. Why don't we make it easier to become U.S. citizens so they can pay into the system? And by the way, many of them do. And we could really use the tax revenue and payments to the Social Security system. And then Sybil and Bonnie Lake said, before Trump, I never even gave someone's status a thought. Now I see Hispanic people in my community, and I hope they are citizens and not having to constantly worry about this nightmare.
Can you go back to that one?
Yeah.
Go back to that text. Say it again. Hold on.
I see Hispanic people in my community, and I hope they are citizens and not having to constantly worry about this nightmare.
Is that what you said in the beginning of that?
Yes. I never gave someone's status a thought, is what she said.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay. Mike in Montesano, though, says, why hasn't he become a legal citizen? Sounds like a lot of excuses. He has had years to do it. Can you just move to Canada and live forever without becoming a citizen? And again, he tried to explain why it's not that easy. And now he has the additional fear of being deported, even though he's lived here since he was 8 years old and has a wife and 2 children and another child on the way.
Can I give a couple statements that I think everybody should be, like, regardless of your political stripes, everyone should be able to agree on? And one, people should have a legal pathway to citizenship, especially people who've lived here a long time and those who were brought as kids.
And don't have criminal
records. Yes. People should be able to do it the right way coming from another country, and it shouldn't take 15 years. If your son in El Salvador is being told, join the gang or we're going to shoot you and rape your wife or rape your sister and rape your mom, and your daughter is being told you have to be the gang leader's boyfriend or we're going to rape her and kill your family, you would do everything that you can to escape that situation. That's what people here claiming asylum are doing. Now, that asylum process needs to be fixed because people know they're not going to get a hearing at the border. Or it's going to take years or never.
Speed up asylum. Yep.
And then I think we should also agree that breaking up families is wrong. What happens to a family when dad is taken away? What happens when mom and dad are taken away and you have teenagers left to fend for themselves? Breaking up families where no one has committed a crime in communities is simply wrong. And no one seems to want to actually fix that.
Not
on
everyone
it.
agrees with that. I mean, unfortunately, I was just looking at 253. Sorry for the immigrants, but most other countries don't allow illegal entrants to stay in their country. And to that response, I ask, like, are we like every other country, or do we want to be?
Not really. Whose country is this?
Actually, they do in other countries. By U.S. and international law, you can show up at any nation on earth and claim asylum. That's legal to do. Yeah. That's what people do at the border.
But not all of these cases are asylum cases.
Sure, a lot are visa overstays, right? And we haven't caught them yet.
Right. Jen says, well, they have to be on their best behavior or something bad could happen and someone could just disappear. Most immigrants are really good people and are so part of the community. We appreciate all that you are texting in. Gee, I'm not sure if there was something else that you wanted to say about that before we move on to the next one. We will, again, have it posted on mynorthwest.com.
Mm-hmm.
And are we able to share that on our Gee and Ursula Show Facebook page as well?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll try to put a link on that as well later today. Okay, let's move on because this is a story I haven't brought up. Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell is pushing for new rules to crack down on what's called wholesaling. It's also called fast flipping. So he says it's about stopping displacement in neighborhoods like the Central District and protecting generational wealth in communities of color. So you've seen those signs on the telephone poles that we buy homes, any conditions, cash right now. So those are from wholesalers. Those are the middlemen who never actually take ownership of the property, but they get a homeowner. Often they're lower income neighborhoods. Oftentimes we're dealing with elderly folks. And they say, here, sign this quick sale contract, maybe for, let's say, $300,000. Okay, it's going to be higher than that. But then they flip the contract to an investor for a big fat fee, and then that investor resells the home for a whole lot more. And the original owner will get that fast cash, but basically loses out on the home's full market value. Mm-hmm. So this proposal would have buyers would have to disclose homeowners' rights up front and pay for an appraisal and give the sellers, so the person that they're hitting up, would have a 10-day cooling off period to reconsider. So if they're under duress, they would have time, and then the city could actually fine the violators and let homeowners sue if they are misled by these unscrupulous folks who are. So some people say, yeah, this is about protecting homeowners, but critics would say this is government overreach. Where are you on this?
Well, I just love the part about the 10-day cooling off period. I love that, right? Where someone would have the opportunity instead of that. And by the way, a lot of folks came for our elderly population, knew, and they know before they go to make that offer on that home, they already know the research. They know what's happened on that home. They know what's owed. They've done their homework. So it's a calculated offer. When they come to you and they say, I see you still owe $250,000 here on your home. Here's $500,000 cash right now. And this is an opportunity. You can leave from Seattle. You can maybe go back to the South where some of your families were. Like sometimes they know that information.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So, yes, I would love for that protection to be there. would have really loved for this protection to have been there during gentrification. But one of the things that I have learned in life and in doing this show is that they always say, well, it's better late than never.
So, yeah, you would like the protection. I'd love to hear from you. 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. I actually think this is a good idea, even though I see where a point can be made about, hey, why are you telling the homeowners what they can or cannot do with their property? This is talking about trying to prevent those from taking advantage of a situation where someone is either extremely desperate or maybe doesn't totally understand the ramifications and is feeling the pressure. Okay, so let's talk about one other thing because tourism is big in Seattle, as you know, but the city is facing a big drop in international tourism this year, and that's led by Canadians. So Oxford Economics says overnight visitors from abroad will fall 27% in 2025. It's the biggest decline in the U.S. in terms of Canadian tourism. And that's largely because Canadians are boycotting the U.S. travel over tariffs, politics, and simply a weaker dollar. And that is bad news for Seattle's budget. And I think the city is hoping that there would be a rebound when FIFA World Cup comes to town next year. But should we be doing more to woo back Canadian tourists?
What did we do to stop them from coming? We didn't tell them we wanted them to become the 51st state.
We, as in city of Seattle. I mean, I know that.
And what can we do? I'm asking that.
Well,
what
some
can we
Seattle hotels and restaurants are offering to accept Canadian dollars at the same rate as U.S. dollars.
Okay,
that's one.
That's one.
Did you hear about that Open Arms for Canada campaign?
No.
So they're basically saying, hey, here in Seattle, we love you. We welcome you. So there's actually specific promotions aimed at Canadians.
But the problem is Canadians, they know how much the Pacific Northwest, Washington, depends on their tourism dollars, right? And they actually will stand for something. And it's not, when you go up there to Vancouver, BC, which I'll be there at the end of the month, when you go up there is no both sides. They see the attack on human decency. They see the awful comments about calling them the 51st state and thinking that you can just bully them. And by the way, are we winning yet? Because I was told on day one, money would be better. The only person that seems to be winning in the first 200 days of his presidency is Ghislaine Maxwell. She's the only one.
Why is she winning now?
What you talking about?
Is she
not very often does the DOJ come to somebody that is already sitting in prison. Here pretty soon, don't you worry. Ghislaine gonna get that sweet deal. And they won't release the files. So every time
still waiting for those files.
We're still waiting for those files. Hey, wait a minute. They used to say, they're gonna drain the swamp. They're gonna release the files. They're gonna do all those things. What happened? No. And then y'all mad at me because every time I see you wear that representation, I think that representation says you are a protector. So it should say, Ursula, it should say protector. Every time you see one of those shirts or hats, it should say protector on the side. Sometimes
in case anyone, no, I was just saying during the 206 says Canadian citizens are loved for their actions. I just want to tell you, if you're from Canada listening right now, we love you.
Yeah.
I
love you too.
I'm hoping that, well, I better not.
You know what?
I was about to say something about a future daughter-in-law from Canada. I stopped myself.
You know what? Oh, yeah. You know what I need to do? I need to go get some T-shirts made, Ursula. And I'm going to wear them. And they're going to say protector.
Okay.
Some red shirts that say protector. And a hat. Protector.
Sounds good.
Ursula, you do a good job with me. Hey, coming up next, Agree to Disagree. Gee Ursula.
This hour is brought to you by DUI Heroes. The Jake and Spike Show.
Fine week we got going here.
We got a great week.
Fine week.
Weekdays noon to 3.
Summer.
It is summer. It's very, very hot. Yeah. I'm not made for the hot heat. I can't stand it. I can't do anything outside because I just start sweating.
I'm canceling an ice delivery pending this updated weather forecast.
My neighborhood ice delivery guy?
Yeah, the guy, that big tongs carries it up 3 flights of stairs.
The horse?
You know the guy. I got an ice guy.
You got an ice guy.
Watch the Jake and Spike Show live on YouTube or the KIRO Newsradio app.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. 1 discount per household.
Wellness. How do you practice it easily every day? At Olympic Hot Tub, we have more ways to achieve total wellness at home than ever before. Immerse yourself and let jets melt stress away in a saltwater hot spring spa. Swim in the privacy of your own backyard in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to cozy warmth and detox in an amazing Tilo sauna. Then awaken your mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Better you, better life.
Tune in each Tuesday morning for KIRO's Financial Update, sponsored by Madrona Financial. Each Tuesday at 6:45, Charlie Harger talks with CPA Brian Evans about what's going on in the financial world and how that affects you. Get the latest information and updates that impact your ability to navigate these financial times. Charlie and Brian discuss the stock market, retirement planning, interest rates, and anything else that will help you understand what's going on in your financial life. Tune in every Tuesday morning at 6:45.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635, and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
Americans may not agree on much, but we agree on Social Security. We all pay in. It ought to be there when we need it. Social Security could face a funding gap in less than a decade, and I don't want to see a pay cut. I'm with AARP in the fight to protect the Social Security we earned.
Pledge to protect Social Security at aarp.org/weearnedit. That's aarp.org/weearnedit. Paid for by AARP.
When your name's on the paint job, your primer better hold up. Painters trust Kills primers for serious adhesion, stain blocking, and a finish that lasts. Now, the full Kills lineup is available exclusively at the Home Depot. Need it fast? Get same-day or next-day delivery, or order online and pick it up in-store. Kills primers. Pro results. Faster. The Home Depot. If you're a pro, you know.
If you've been considering upgrading your siding, now is the perfect time. Hi, I'm Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. In the Pacific Northwest, moisture is the enemy. Old failing siding leads to hidden water damage, rot, and mold. State Roofing and Exteriors is a James Hardy preferred contractor with over 55 years of siding expertise. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com to schedule your siding inspection today. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
State Roofing, the best roof you'll ever need.
Eric Butler here, General Manager at Kia of Everett. Thinking about going electric? Now is the time. The clock is ticking on thousands in federal and state EV tax credits that end September 30th. Add that to what you'll already be saving at Kia of Everett on our huge selection of award-winning, dependable Kia EVs, from the stylish Niro to the powerful EV9. Take advantage of this opportunity. Stop by today or visit KiaofEverett.com.
The best drive you'll ever take is to Kia of Everett. Simple, easy, fun.
Hey, college students, get 5% off at Safeway with your student ID in the app. With Fresh Pass, save on produce and enjoy free delivery. EBT users get additional savings. Visit Safeway.com/4U. That's FOR in the letter U.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. A robbery suspect who escaped custody at SeaTac Airport has been caught.
Department of Corrections spokesperson Chris Wright tells me 20-year-old John Nino may have slipped his handcuffs before he escaped from two DOC officers on a SeaTac skybridge because
the restraints when they're being transported in, it's not your typical handcuffs.
Instead, the cuffs are longer than normal and usually concealed out of an officer's sight. Nino got as far as Tacoma, where police arrested him the next day without a fight. He was being transported back from New Mexico after violating his parole. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
If you're flying Air Canada anytime soon, listen up.
We have begun this morning a gradual suspension of Air Canada and Air Canada Rouge operations. All flights will be paused by Saturday early morning.
Air Canada Vice President Mark Nasser says they're canceling flights ahead of a strike by flight attendants. Preparations are underway in Alaska, where President Trump is set to meet with Russia's Vladimir Putin to talk about Russia's war in Ukraine. Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
I think the president's hope is to achieve some stoppage of fighting.
Ukraine's president is not optimistic, saying that Putin is merely stalling. Israel's finance minister has approved a new settlement in Israelis' occupied West Bank and is calling for the area to be annexed. Linda Gradstein reports.
Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich announced he plans to build 3,000 homes in a controversial area of the West Bank that many say would make a Palestinian state impossible. At a ceremony announcing the new building, Smotrich said that this reality finally buries the idea of a Palestinian state because there is nothing to recognize and no one to recognize.
A close encounter for homeowners in Massachusetts.
Jim Dolan says he and his wife were in their Gloucester townhouse at the time.
We just heard this bam, this pow, and I jumped up and I said, what the heck was that?
They found some strange rocks that smelled of sulfur on their deck and some damage to the corner of their house. Boston College geophysicist John Ebel believes it was a meteorite.
Every day and every night, there are meteorites coming into the atmosphere.
But he says the odds of one hitting your house are like winning the lottery. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Wholesale inflation rose 0.9% between June and July. That's the biggest jump in more than 3 years. Analysts say President Trump's tariffs have begun to boost the prices consumers pay. Wall Street does not like that. The Dow is down 102 points. NASDAQ off about 30. KIRO News Radio traffic in Issaquah. A crash is blocking a lane on I-90 eastbound near Southeast High Point Way. You have 2 lanes closed for construction northbound on I-5 near the Ship Canal Bridge. Express lanes are open northbound, putting pressure on the southbound commute. Travel times, Linwood to Seattle, 46 minutes, still about 24 minutes longer than usual. Alderwood to South Center on I-405 is 1 hour, 15 minutes longer. Traffic brought to you by the KIRO Radio Rundown. Text newsletter to 888-973-5476 and subscribe to the daily KIRO News Radio Rundown. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Cloudy skies today with highs in the low 70s. It's 63 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Thursday to all of you. Let's get to it. Let's do our Agree to Disagree segment brought to you by Guardian Roofing and Gutters.
One of these days, we just got to take off the gloves. Just really go at it.
Yeah, we got to talk about a whole new level of parental privilege, this time at the airport. TSA just rolled out these new family lanes at select airports, Orlando, Charlotte, Honolulu. Picture yourself in line. You see a family ahead of you. They're herding a stroller, couple of kids, all the baby baggage, and you think to yourself, oh, no, I'm not picking that line. But what happens is instead is they get drawn over to their own special family lane. So kids under 12 with parents, grandparents, even the aunts, uncles, whoever's with them, they all go through this lane. It's basically like pre-check, except for it's free. And the Wall Street Journal says that most people have waits of 5 minutes or less at the select airports they're trying this on. So Ursula, is this fair to parents? Or is this unfair to other travelers with no children?
Now, it almost, the way you described it, sounds like the best of both worlds, because you're right. At this juncture of my life, I do look for that line that does not have the stroller, does not have the bunch of kids. That's where I'm at right now. I'm looking for which line am I going to pick that is going to be the shortest wait. And so if you have them separated into a different line, aren't you addressing that problem? I love that idea if they're in a separate line. Now, if they're given priority constantly, I'm not going to say that I'm not going to be gritting my teeth, but I understand it as well. I mean, the point is to get everybody through as quickly as possible.
Gee, you don't even like them strollers getting on the planes for you, do you?
Nope.
But he doesn't have to worry about it either. I have to worry about this.
Well,
Chef has to worry about
this.
this.
Here's the thing. Even if you do have a stroller and you got the kids, you don't want to get in another line with other people's strollers and kids. You see what I'm saying? You don't want that either. So you want to just try to pick and choose. But which brings me to my next topic. On this topic, though, us picking lines, I would love that. Please let all the kids, Chef, stay in one line. I would love for that to happen and give me free or for my own line. But yesterday, Ursula, I was getting ready to go through the lines. Do you know how bad I am at picking lines? It was a few lines that was right there. I said, okay, let me see. I picked this one. Struck out.
Because I know
terrible.
I know what you're doing, though. Because you're doing what I do, too.
What?
You pick what you think. It's the shortest line. Visibly, it's the shortest line. But there may be a reason it's the shortest line. Because people have already abandoned it because it's not moving.
Yeah, that's true, too. Whoever the checker is
slow.
I wouldn't call him slow.
Oh, man.
I wouldn't call him slow.
Or chatty.
Chatty Kathy. Shout out, boss lady.
I was in the grocery store yesterday and got behind someone. I was like, oh, only one person. She paid with single dollar bills and about $5 worth of coins down to the exact change. Anyways, I think this is parental privilege.
I'm terrible.
I don't need it. All right, quick one from the Cincinnati Open. Top British tennis star Emma Raducanu actually stopped her match mid-serve because there was a little baby in the stands who'd been crying for about 10 minutes. She asked the judge, the chair, if they could remove the child. The crowd started chanting yes. She flashed a smile, and they allowed the child to be removed. For the record, it was pretty hot that day. Ursula, I mean, tennis is kind of quiet. People are all polite. They do the golf clap stuff. Like, are there just certain venues where you got to take your dang child out of there if they start crying?
Absolutely. And the reason why people are clapping is because they also probably heard that child. And tennis absolutely is one of those sports where you've got to have concentration. And talk about parental privilege. If your child is crying for 10 minutes and you're not doing anything about it, the only way that I would think it's understandable and I would have compassion in that case is you don't have a choice. For example, on a plane.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's tough. There's nothing you really can do to soothe your child when they're in a plane and you have nowhere to go. So you're going to do your best. But at a competition, that level in particular, and you've got a wailing child and you don't think that you should take the child out? That's crazy.
Hey, well, you know, Ursula, let me go through my Rolodex here.
Uh-huh.
Now, if you and Long Live Mark are at a nice restaurant, you guys going out on a Saturday night, nice restaurant, going to get a nice, little date.
Yeah.
And then there's that baby that's neck behind you guys. You want them to kick the baby out?
No. Not kick the baby out.
But
as the parent, I would absolutely be mortified, and I would try to do everything that I could to try to quiet the child. But I'm not going to. No. I'm not going to.
So if you had a chance If they came up to you, excuse me, sir, ma'am.
But the stakes are a little bit different versus.
No, I'm talking. No, the tennis is easy.
Tennis,
I'm making this about you, Ursula. I want to put you on the spot. So you're in the situation, sir, ma'am. It doesn't seem like the baby's gonna stop crying. We can remove them, or we can leave them here. What do you do, Ursula?
Okay. If I'm the parent, I'm removing myself. If you're the restaurant owner, okay, can I say, does it depend on the type of restaurant?
Ursula?
Like if I'm talking about Chuck E. Cheese, that kid's crying.
He said fine dining. It was very
specific.
dining?
No, I would say for the comfort of your family and our guests, yes.
No. Finish it. Here we go. Excuse me, sir, ma'am, Ursula and Mark. I'm sorry, but the couple, the family next to you, I don't think the baby's gonna stop crying. So it's up to you. We can either leave them here or you can have them removed. What would you want, Ursula?
Oh, I would not ask for them to be removed.
You want the hospitality solution?
Yeah, wait. Why are you standing up and ready to walk out the door? Because I'm not going to be the one that's going to say remove them.
Remove them kids.
I mean, here's what you should do.
Remove them kids. I'm about to pay about $400 on this date, and you think I want wah next to me? Get that damn kid up out of here.
David in Snohomish County says, please, if you haven't reached puberty, don't go to a restaurant. Okay, see, that's just too extreme.
Gee, I think you might be showing yourself, though, if you get angry at a tiny baby while you're out on a nice date. Manager just brings over some champagne for the surrounding tables.
I'm not angry at the baby.
Invites the mom. Hey, I know your child's having a hard time.
Yes.
We have a little private back room here. If you need to feed or anything, we'll bring you some snacks back here.
I love them. Those
are
are fantastic solutions. And you know what some parents do, which I think is so sweet?
What's with that?
When they take their baby on a plane, I love when parents do that little extra for all the people who sit around them. And they're like, here's a bag of snacks. I know that my baby may get a little...
I ain't never met that parent.
Man, those are like, you know what those things are? Those are like the little appreciation bags that they give to the nurses in the pandemic. Like, great job. Here's an asprin and a sticker.
You know what parent that is? That's the one that wears the muumuu or the kaftan.
Kaftan. That's me. Yeah, I have a soft spot for kids.
Kick them kids out. Coming up next, text messages, feedback, and then we'll have Ursula's words to live by.
The Jake and Spike Show.
I check it late at night when my wife's not looking.
Weekdays noon to 3.
My favorite thing on my phone, which is my weather app.
First thing, nonstop.
My number one app. Every day it tells me it's the number one thing I use on my phone.
First thing I looked at when I woke up.
First thing I see in the morning. Last thing I see at night is the weather.
Then I'll roll over and kiss her after that.
My wife says, "Don't kiss me after you look at your weather app."
I feel hot and sweaty.
Watch the Jake and Spike Show live on YouTube or the KIRO Newsradio app.
Hi, it's John Curley. Longevity Medical Clinic is your best plan for long-term well-being and personalized health care. Dr. Mixon, let me ask you a question. How long have some of your patients been working with you?
We've got patients now that have been with us for over 20 years that are in their 90s who came to us in their 60s. The grandparents now in their 90s are living independently. They're not on walkers, they're not on canes, they're not headed for nursing homes.
I meet people and they ask about, wow, you're in great shape. You have 12% body fat and stuff. What's the secret? I said, it's not a secret. Longevity Medical Clinic has been there for 25 years. There is no secret to the fact that if you make those small changes, you avoid the big, bad, horrible stuff that most of us just think, well, this is what's supposed to happen to me.
And if you're heading downhill and you don't change your direction, you're going to continue going downhill. And what we do at Longevity is we redirect you and we take you back up the hill.
So get your free health analysis. Go to longevitymedicalclinic.com. That's longevitymedicalclinic.com.
Tune in to The Money Professor with Chris Longworth.
Having some certainty about your plan is definitely going to give you all the advantages.
Chris has the heart of an educator.
If you really want to do this correctly, then you get to enjoy every day of retirement like it's a Saturday. And if you don't, it's a Monday for the rest of your life.
Tune in to The Money Professor with Chris Longworth, Saturdays at 8 a.m. right here on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Many retirees are enjoying the summer weather, but not enjoying the high cost of living. We're here with our friend Steve Teitler of Best Mortgage, who says a reverse mortgage may provide some stress relief.
If you're struggling with your mortgage payments or other bills, or maybe you just like some extra money, a reverse mortgage allows you to tap your home equity for tax-free cash. You've worked hard to build up that equity in your home. Now let it work for you. And best of all, you'll have no mortgage payments the rest of your life.
But as you always say, a reverse mortgage is not for everyone.
That's right. Avoid the high-pressure sales pitch from those out-of-state call centers. I give you a consultation, not a sales pitch. I'll tell you if a reverse mortgage is right for you, and I always tell you if it's not.
Honest advice you can trust from the reverse mortgage experts. Best Mortgage, the VA loan experts and debt consolidation specialists too. 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage, 425-649-6000.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. OpenPhone gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. OpenPhone lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you and your team can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? OpenPhone automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With OpenPhone's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions, and use those insights to coach your team and level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with OpenPhone. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try OpenPhone for free at openphone.com/free and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/free. Openphone.com/FREE.
Bathfitter just hit a big milestone, 42,000 installations in Western Washington. To celebrate, Bathfitter's offering payments as low as $125 a month. Ursula Reutin here. I chose Bathfitter Northwest because they work here, they live here, and they love making bathrooms better for their neighbors. Custom fit tub and shower solutions are installed in as little as 1 day, and every installation is backed by a lifetime warranty. Call Bathfitter or visit bathfitternw.com to schedule a free consultation. This special offer won't last.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that, and third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
Protect your home and auto with a bundle from Progressive so you can stop worrying about them and invent new things to worry about, like snakes in your bedroom. Sure, that sounds incredibly irrational, but now that we've mentioned it, you are a little worried. The odds of one snake, let alone snakes plural, are so slim. But you might want to check. Oh, you're not near your bedroom. Guess you'll just have to sit there and worry about it. So let Progressive protect your home and auto, because you've got enough to worry about. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
The insurance world, it can be confusing. So have Firstmark Insurance guide you through it by taking the free Firstmark Challenge. They'll explore offerings from top carriers for better coverage and lower rates. They save the Heward family thousands. Go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
KIRO Newsradio is teaming up with Global Credit Union to support our veterans with the Invest in Our Veterans program. For more than 75 years, Global Credit Union has been committed to our military communities and to organizations that back our military and their families. Do you know a nonprofit serving our heroes that could use additional funding? Head to mynorthwest.com/veterans to nominate an organization to receive $1,000 to support their mission. Let's invest in our veterans. Go to mynorthwest.com/veterans.
It's Gee and Ursula. Ursula, guess what I was just doing just now?
What were you doing? Were you on YouTube?
Nah. I was opening up the news boss so I could get these text messages.
Okay, well, we started off with one of our top stories being that ICE arrests are down in Washington as far as last month anyway. 425 says, guys, ICE got $75 billion in the big beautiful bill. Also, ICE is now accepting 18-year-olds as there's no longer an age limit for agents. It used to be 40 years old.
Yeah, I haven't fact-checked that. Aside from Alligator Alcatraz in Florida, which opened July 1st with space for 5,000 detainees, ICE is adding a deportation depot in North Florida, a massive Fort Bliss facility in Texas to reach 5,000 beds, and dozens of new privately run centers across multiple states. Plans also include proposed expansion at Guantanamo Bay with $45 billion in detention centers nationwide. I'm guessing 425 is trying to say, yeah, it may have gone down in July, but this is just temporary.
Oh. On immigration reform, Kara, the cleaning lady, says, coming from someone who 6 months ago was in the camp of send them home, learn to speak English, why don't you get your papers? It was especially hard for me living in Kent in a community where I'm the minority. I was constantly grinding my teeth. I've done a complete 180, not because of Jesus, who you interviewed, but because I turned to God. He's taught me to love my neighbors as myself. That includes the ones who live above me, below me, and next to me. I don't get to cherry pick who is my neighbor and who isn't. It also includes our Canadian neighbors and our Mexican neighbors.
Okay, and then Kara, the cleaning lady, goes on to say, and the politicians who scream, send them back while claiming to be Christians, they're hypocrites, and I choose not to be one. Yes, I am a Republican, but I've changed my tune on immigration, and since then, God has brought my Afghan refugee neighbors into my life. We've developed a great relationship, and I'm getting involved with an Afghan refugee program through my church. When I look around my neighborhood now, I don't gnash my teeth anymore. I believe most immigrants, legal or not, love our country as I do. And yes, I don't want criminals here. But to be honest, I don't want American-born criminals here either.
Hey, Kara, at some point, that was beautiful, but I would want you to, we would like to interview you because I would like to ask you more questions about your transformation and obviously about your neighbors as well. Kara, the cleaning lady, been listening to us for a while.
Yes, for sure. Tracy in Tacoma, she's back to liking you today. She says, loved the question to Jesus about the changes that he's had to make to his life. Being afraid to break a traffic rule, avoiding places where Hispanics gather, being stuck in a job no matter what. My heart goes out to him and others like him. Did you explore at all about what citizens can do to support Jesus and others in his situation?
Ursula knows me so well because she knew I wasn't going to read that one.
Nope.
You got me. Would you rather? We did that earlier today, and the question was, would you rather spend a year in prison or no sex, cuddling for the rest of your life? D-Dub in Lakewood says, come on now. The rest of your life with no mattress mambo versus a year in the clink? We got to revise that, would you rather?
And Dave said, heck no, I'll rock an orange jumpsuit.
No ladies, I think, chose the lifetime without.
Okay, Ursula, it's been deep lately. What you got for us for the words to live by?
Well, inspired by our conversation and our interview today.
Yeah.
This is a quote from Lawrence Overmeyer, who says, live with an open mind and an open heart, and always choose love over fear and kindness over cruelty.
That's good. You know who made me change my stance on something?
Who's that?
Kara, the cleaning lady. Remember about 3 weeks ago, I told you, if you know what I mean, I'm not changing my opinion. If you voted for that, whatever, you get what you voted for.
Yeah.
With him.
I just never believed that.
Kara made me, had me changing a little bit.
And that's the whole thing. And people can change.
Yeah.
She enlightened you.
If I can change, and you can change, everybody can change.
This is true.
Everybody, what movie is that? Okay, Nick, what do you got?
Well, of course, we know when Sully's in, there's trouble on the roads, from those planned construction slowdowns to a crash that overloads. Though the crash today was not routine like what we've seen before, giving off radioactive matter spilling on the floor. And maybe manly influencers tell you, don't be scared, and to walk right through that dangerous spot they block with extra care. It'll toughen them up, get some radioactive exposure. Good for the character.
Thank you, Nick.
Thanks, Nick. I like that song. All right, Ursula, that was a good show today.
It really was.
Kara just texted us back. Yeah, we got to talk to her.
I would love to really talk about a transformation. Hey, Ursula, what do you got to do in the rest of the day?
Spending time with my family. I've just got 24 hours left with them before they go back to
24.
Germany. Yep.
Tina and Frank, I'm going to miss y'all.
And Alicia.
I'm going to miss you too. All right. Thanks, Ursula.
Thank you.
Hey, a lot of folks knew that was Rocky, by the way. Chef, good to have you back, man. Appreciate
great
you.
to be here.
Nick, what made you play this song today, bruh?
I don't know. I was just thinking Top Gun, Danger, Radioactive.
Gosh.
It's always a classic. It's a go-to.
Is Tom Cruise one of the greatest actors ever?
I'd say top 10, maybe top 5.
I don't think since Tom Cruise.
I think he just loved the whole Top Gun movie.
I mean, here's the thing.
Follow up.
If Tom Cruise never jumps on Oprah's couch,
he is one of the best actors for
sure. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You love
Scientology. Thank you.
It's Scientology. Jake and Spike, they're coming in next. We appreciate you for listening. Love you for that. And as always, be kind.
Hope you have as much fun as we have. So long, everybody.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
I just saw 2 houses for sale. Same neighborhood, almost identical, but one had an Orchard sign and it sold for way more. So I asked my friends at Orchard, why? The first house used a traditional agent. After weeks of price drops and frustration, they settled for less than they'd hoped for. The second homeowner chose Orchard and got more. Their local Orchard agent didn't just list a home, they marketed it. They knew exactly which upgrades would attract serious buyers and brought in a pro to handle everything. And even more, with Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program, the homeowner moved into their new home before their old one even hit the market. They skipped all the hassles and showings. Never settle for less. Get more with Orchard, the smarter, faster, hassle-free way to buy your new home, even before your old home sells. Start with Orchard's free home valuation at Orchard.com. That's Orchard.